evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Howling About Entertainment for this March 7th, 2021. And I'll tell you what, it is just a gorgeous day here in Central Texas. It's like 72 degrees out. I got a pork shoulder in the smoker. Should be done right about when we finish up tonight. And it's been good, man. Like, mowed the lawn, hung a bunch of pictures. It's been a good, productive day. All right. Draco, how are you this afternoon, sir?
Excellent, sir. I've been actually streaming for the last 3 hours.
Holy smokes.
Spent some time with not just our member stream earlier, which I'm sorry I didn't get to say hi to you more than on text in there, but spent some time with a friend of the fandom, Cardinal Menace, and several of his regulars. And now we're on today's stream to talk about how wonderful things have been going this week. It's actually very nice here. It'd be a nice day to spend time outside, although in Michigan it's been down in the 30s and 40s. We've been getting some very nice weather lately too, so thank goodness for no inclement weather.
Outstanding. And of course, he is not just another red shirt. He is the red shirt. How are you today, my friend?
Can't complain, Jake D. Cannot complain. I've gotten the same wonderful weather you are. Was outside earlier. It's been a beautiful day, and I wish that I could say the same thing about Disney. That has not been going in the right direction at all.
Oh no. Empire. we will get into a little bit of that, man. By golly. And welcome back, Ace Mr. Freeze. It is good to have you here, sir. How's the day treating you, my friend?
It's great. It's great. I heard you saying how good of a day it was, and I was like, I agree. It's been wonderful. I've done a little bit of the house cleaning. Everything was good there. Sat outside and read by the pool, swam, went to the hot tub, swam again. Ooh. Now I'm here. Life is nice.
Hell yeah. Let's see who's joining us in the chat before we get rolling. By God, Lord Thoth, as always, it is good to have you, our brother from the Great White North. And Alex, good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Glad to have you. Yeah, Alex has been commenting. He was checking out the official Star Wars Facebook page, and that it's been
making
doing
some
about
appropriate votes there, Alex.
Yeah,
just saying.
About as good a reaction over there as it's been on their YouTube page, which we will definitely be talking about today. Oh man. Yeah, he's saying it's gone down from 10 to 50 to about 500 to 2,000. So yeah, good old KK really took the steam out of Star Wars. All right, let's see. Henry Sherman, hail, sir. Good to see you. Glad that you made it in. Mary G, yes, Sunday night fun. That is certainly what we try to offer here. Outstanding. Sentient Dildo, hail, nerds. Oh man, we got a new achievement today that might really make that work. Henry Sherman, he's been out and about getting some yard work done too. Excellent. Got some things to say about WandaVision if we want to hear from the Peanut Gallery. We certainly want to hear from the Peanut Gallery because one of the best parts about these streams is the chat, my friend. Absolutely. SPN Dusk, the MCU is here. Yes, sir. It most certainly is. Hey, Steph, how are you? Good to see you. Glad that you made it. Let's see. Oh, Sentient Dildo's curious about how much money you stole while you were in politics there.
I'm pretty sure I gave away a lot of my funds in kind, for gas money and to deliver a bottle of wines to, all the groups that we forgot to schedule with. Oh no, the congressman really cares. Here's some wine.
Godzillionaire, hail. Good to see you. Good to see you. All right. I think that covers everybody who said hello in the chat for the moment. Oh man, there's lots of fun stuff to talk about today, man. We are going to get into the official Star Wars Instagram page and their bold new character they've introduced for the Let's Get High Republic. Absolutely going to get into the ratio issues that Alex alluded to. And by God, WandaVision has officially and completely ushered in the MCU. And it wasn't in the agenda, but our good friend of the channel, Polly, over at the Latino Slant, he pointed out something in a video that I wanted to chat about if we get to it. And that is that they are now trying to go after Speedy Gonzalez. And to his great credit, Gabriel Iglesias, the new voice of Speedy, said, F you. So that's just brilliant, man. Just brilliant. Yeah, Henry Sherman.
Out my Speedy. Andale, arriba.
You can't catch me. I'm the fastest mouse in all Mexico. That's what he said.
That's
he tweeted
said.
that. You can't cancel me. I'm the fastest mouse in all Mexico. I love it.
Oh shit, man. Let's just start there because that's just a cool story, man. Dude, so psycho crazy cancel culture idiots doing their typical, SJW craziness of trying to find things to be pissed off about are going after Pepe Le Pew because he's a womanizer and a drapist, apparently. And they're going after Speedy Gonzalez because he's a caricature of, they use the term, that whole Latinx term. And oh, baby, man, that is
okay.
Yes, small time. Speedy has long been a target, even before the purple-haired Twitter wackos came along. But oh man, so Redshirt, talk to me about Speedy Gonzalez, man.
This is my childhood. These idiots are messing with now. I grew up on every Saturday morning. It was turn on the television and watch Warner Brothers cartoons and Woody Woodpecker and Droopy. And I own the entire Golden Jubilee collection of Warner Brothers cartoons on DVD.
Wow.
This is messing with something. And I've watched this go for the last 40 years that the idea that, they're violent and, they're this and, they're that. And there's something wrong with them. And they take out bits of them and then they just stop broadcasting them. This infuriates me because this is intentionally taking something out of context in order to make their point. And
yes,
and Paulie made the point. Everybody he knows that is of Mexican descent loves Speedy Gonzalez. He's a heroic character to them. He's not a stereotype that insults them. And this is people who are being. This is always the tell. These are people who are being offended on behalf of someone else. And in this case, the someone else they're being offended on behalf of is saying, "I'm not even offended. Go away."
Yes.
So this is insanity squared.
Oh, absolutely, man. It's fucking crazy. And this is not the first time they've gone after Speedy.
Right.
It was Godzillionaire, I think it was, it was Small Time called that out a little bit earlier in the chat. Yeah, Godzillionaire says they're going after Speedy because he makes a cameo in the Snyder Cut as a multiverse Flash. Dude, that actually could be. That'd be hysterical. I'd love to see that, man. Dude, Speedy Gonzalez, man, from Looney Tunes, that guy. I loved Speedy. He was hysterical, man. And he was a hero, right? I mean, let's not beat around the bush. Speedy Gonzalez was a fucking hero. He was always there to save the day,
That's why he could never have been in a cartoon with Bugs Bunny, because they were both comic heroes.
Indeed. Mary G says they better stay away from Yosemite Sam. I got bad news for you.
Yeah.
They've already been to Yosemite
Seen his
Sam.
guns lately.
Yeah.
So I love the fact that you you know all this Warner Brothers lore, because for me, I grew up in the 90s, and Warner Brothers just had this wonderful legacy that they would, at some time at night on Nickelodeon, you would get some classic Warner Brothers. You wouldn't know when, you wouldn't know where, but it was going to be there. And, it moved into just like simple cartoons. I think they had Pinky and the Brain from my era, which was just good TV.
I like
especially
Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah. It just worked. And so to see them like take a hammer to these characters without any respect for what it's done in our culture. Like, I was never a Disney guy. I understand that Disney has a huge Americana factor, but it's never had that for me. Warner Brothers always had that. Bugs Bunny was this like larger than life character that you wanted to be. Everybody said, "What's up, Doc?" It was like Bart Simpson's "Don't have a cowman or eat my shorts." It was just that significant. And to take these characters away for your current political feelings is just ridiculous, because your politics will lose automatically.
Oh yeah.
And I know that the guys who did Ren and Stimpy were huge fans of Warner Brothers, because they actually recorded a commentary for a Bob Clampett cartoon in the Golden Jubilee collection, which I have seen several times, because I love, these are two guys who were inspired to become animators because of Warner Brothers cartoons. And they created Ren and Stimpy.
When you say it, it makes sense, but I never thought of it. But Ren and Stimpy were, it was this comic, basic. I mean, not comic. It was a show that was ahead of its time, and its characters had this just like, I don't give a fuck attitude, but still was very relevant. And it was just the kind of thing that even now that was the first show that people might say you can't make again today, because it's too off kilter. But it was great, and to see them do that to Speedy Gonzalez, I don't understand the point.
Dude, I don't know. What are you thinking, Draco? I mean, I mean, this obsession with wiping out anything that shows race in any way, shape, or form. I mean, is that what they're doing? Because I mean, we heard from a bunch of Latinos in response to this that basically said, screw you. We Mexicans love Speedy. Yeah.
I'm hard up against the idea that this is unfortunately political. But the thing, I mean, we don't generally cover politics or that slant on this. So the thing is that I'm just appreciating the fact that so many of the people that this is actually meant to be Latinos and Latinas out there, that they are the ones that are up in arms about this, saying, we aren't the ones offended by this. That they're the ones that are actually coming out and saying, no, this is actually fine. And all of you people, this is where the mockery needs to come in. This is where the idea of, no, don't get it. You're not actually offended. You're just looking for more things to be offended at. And this is the latest example to be brought to the table, the latest case in point, the latest programming update to the NPC outrage mob. That's where I am with it, because the thing is it doesn't make any sense. All this stuff, it's not even couched in the negativity. It's not even couched in secondary characteristics. That another thing we might touch on, the Dr. Seuss thing, the being connected to something. It might be it's not even talked on when we were talking about Gina Carano, and then by third level you have Henry Cavill being canceled because he was on a date with her. I mean, it's ludicrous, the connection levels that we are going through to find reasons to be outraged about stupid things.
Hold on, not that I care about people's personal lives, but which celebrity was on a date with which celebrity?
Henry Cavill with Gina Carano, and because of this, he must be canceled because she was.
Oh my!
Straight up, dude, no bullshit. They went after Cavill because he used to date Carano 10 years ago.
I was about to say, I thought
10 years ago.
Married.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get mad at me about my ex-girlfriends, get in line, because they're still mad.
Oh, that needs an award. That's a funny.
That
needs an
should have
award.
unlocked an achievement.
Oh God, I don't have a good one for that,
You
man.
got a new one. You've got a new one to craft, my son. My son, you've got your job, your homework for this week.
All right, yeah, but small time, dude. Like, I wanted to keep this highlighted because I wanted to address it directly in this. At this rate, he supports everyone who is not offended, regardless of if he agrees with them. Politics, entertainment, whatever, dude. Oh man, do I ever hear you on this small time? It's like, I mean, Gabriel Iglesias and I don't think our politics align, but the dude is cool and he is funny as shit. And I mean, just stand up to tell these people to F off. It was so good to see that, man. I mean, dude, Iglesias is funny. Have you guys seen any of his stand-up work?
Yes,
he's really funny.
Yes,
great comic, wonderful material.
His thing when he does, like his interactions with cops. Ooh, that's really good. He's just like waiting to make donut jokes, and they're just waiting to see like if he's gonna do it or not. Like, but I mean, it's good. That's just good casting on Warner Brothers call. I said that on Gary's stream. Like, that guy's got talent with vocals. Like in his comedy, he really uses his voice to just take his jokes from a high level to just laugh out loud. Can't stop, hold my stomach. And it's like there's no forethought. When they went back to like Apu, in The Simpsons, it's like, yeah, okay, every single voice is Hank Azaria, or but I do know a few people who are actually from India, and we're like, Apu is not a great representation. He doesn't sound like me. I'm like, I get that. And then there's like Pepe Le Pew, who is absolutely a womanizer, but he is a skunk. Like,
yeah, right.
he's got a lot to overcome.
It's just like, at least Apu is the real character, and there's a discussion to be had about the time that he was created, late 80s. Like, okay, whatever. Like, the Apu is a great character, but
not to mention, you continue to write him, you can move that character forward in ways that are meaningful to audiences. He was a living character.
And you could get another guy to do his voice. Hank Azaria could do one less voice. He'd be fine.
Dude, I mean, let's not forget, okay, there was the when they did the illegal alien episode of The Simpsons, and they're gonna it was
which one was this?
So I think it was the same one that they had the bear patrol in, and the mayor blamed the bears on illegal aliens. So Homer started a petition to have some kind of law passed about throwing all the illegal aliens out of Springfield. And he finds out that Apu was an illegal alien in the episode because he had overstayed an education visa, and he was actually like a computer programming technician. And he just kind of stayed because he liked it, right? And so they did take steps to advance the character of Apu. I mean, for real. God, I wish I could remember exactly what season that episode was in, but
they had a few turning points because they did it in the original 11, and so that, which is saying like that's the classic run of The Simpsons, 89 to 2000, and Apu got his like big episodes, I think, like season 7 or 8. But he's been brought back to like a bunch of times. But Speedy Gonzalez is also not representing a person. He represents a cute little mouse. Like, and lines do need to be drawn in life, so we don't sound like idiots when we're complaining about representation. And to the point before about politics and entertainment, that's what's bringing a lot of us together because, I'm just going to hazard a guess. I'm from northern New Jersey. My politics that I grew up with, that I've worked in, might be very different than Jake D's politics from Texas. Our politics have very little to do with our love of country, have very little to do with our love of history, apparently, because we both have a big love of that, and our love of entertainment. Like,
Yes.
our politics has nothing to do with that. Our politics is just we all have the same values. It's just a percentage of, okay, you have this one at 80% and I have it at 50, and you have next one at 50 and I have that at 90. Like,
there you go.
These are the differences. And so
Yes.
to have these infections into our movies, our TV shows, even our podcasts and our, like YouTube channels, like it's really deleterious to our entertainment, but it's really turning the page or turning the tide on like what I value in friendship and what I value in human interaction. Because I don't want to hear politics. I want to have fun. And the people who value other human beings for who they are and not their politics are the people I want to know for the rest of my life.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yes, Godzillionaire remembers the Simpsons episode I'm talking about, because they end up throwing out Groundskeeper Willie at the end. Because he was also an illegal alien. So. Yes, that is absolutely
About Nothing, season 7, episode 23.
Yes, there
Much
you go.
About Nothing. Yes,
yeah, that was the episode I was thinking of, man. So yeah, Godzillionaire says your view on tax brackets shouldn't interfere with the enjoyment of fart jokes. Absolutely not, and especially it should not interfere with your ability to be friends, which we all here are on this channel, on the panel, and in the chat. My God.
Everybody loves a fart joke, and everyone's going to poop their pants at some point.
And not only that, but everybody loves a dick joke too, which of course is what Ralph Boner was in WandaVision. My God.
Have you ever had a friend who ever actually shit his pants?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember being in summer camp as a kid, and I just had a friend of mine, and I'm never going to say his name out loud because that would not be fair, but he just looked at me, and he had like this, like, I have to go. And I was like, what is it? He's like, I just crapped. And then he went like back, like you just like you had to walk at least like a half a mile.
Oh God!
To cleanly change.
Oh, that poor guy.
Yeah,
I know.
And I bet he never heard the end of it either, did he?
I think this is why he and I were friends, because he said it to me and I never repeated it until just now.
Good man. And welcome, Ironcaster. Good to have you here again, my friend.
Well, I
Yes,
said
yes.
on the Nerdrotic live stream I'd probably show up, and I don't want to make a liar out of myself.
Glad you
Hell,
made it, man.
Ironcaster.
Dude, Speedy Gonzalez. What the fuck, Ironcaster?
It was only a matter of time until they went after that. Anything that resembles any sort of stereotype at all. Of course, I imagine that all the British stereotypes, all the white stereotypes, we'll say, are all going to be perfectly A-okay. I happen to have a stammer, and I should feel offended over Elmer Fudd and Porky Pig.
Yeah.
Oh, you wascoey wabbits.
Godzillionaire wants to know how long before they start claiming Marvin the Martian is in blackface.
Yeah.
Well, if you're
Ironcaster,
not offended, then I'm going to be offended for you, because
Yes.
that is totally not right that you should not be offended. You must be offended.
Yeah. Ironcaster, you raise a good point with where some stereotypes are more equal than others. If it weren't for, this is a line I've heard a lot of times, if it weren't for double standards, some people would have no standards at all.
Ain't no standard like a double standard these days.
Well, then you have more of them.
Amen there, brother. So, I'm going to go back to this real quick. Mary G was praying they wouldn't go after Yosemite Sam, but they have. They have. So, HBO Max launched a reboot of Looney Tunes, right? And Yosemite Sam did get attacked and changed in this reboot. He's still there. So he didn't get fully canceled, but they did make some rather radical changes to his character. You remember what those were, Redshirt?
No, I didn't catch that.
No
What
more
did they do?
guns.
Well, I assume for starters, they took away his 6 guns.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
I knew about Elmer Fudd.
Yeah.
Well, I knew that was coming because if you know, there's 3 absolutely classic Chuck Jones cartoons, one of which is called Duck, Rabbit, Duck, one of which is called Rabbit Seasoning. And it's Daffy continually getting himself shot in the head. because Bugs confuses him into saying something, do you want to shoot me now or wait till you get home? Shoot him now! Shoot him now! You keep out of this. He doesn't have to shoot you now. He does so have to shoot me now. So shoot me now. Blam. Okay.
And his bill spins around his head.
And
right?
then his bill spins around or it winds up on top of his head. He has to take it down and clunk. They apparently sometime in the 90s, they decided that was too violent. So they edited the cartoon to take out all the shotgun blasts. So all you see is Daffy's bill suddenly starts spinning around his head. And you have no idea why if you haven't seen the original cartoon. I went, what's the point? The thing doesn't make any sense whatsoever anymore with those edits.
That blows my mind because I think that happened in my lifetime.
Yeah.
And I'm like, because I remember his spinning beak and Bill. Yeah, whatever.
So you never got to see the original Ace.
I did because they showed the old ones all the time.
Okay.
But
I
do remember also seeing this imagery and being like, wait a moment, we just had the hunter like this and then spinning beak. And you didn't actually get the sound and there is the image of the blast, like a big mushroom from that wasn't in the daytime cartoons.
Right.
And it's blowing my mind because this is like when I was 6 and now I'm having like recollections of it.
This is why I don't remember what happened to Yosemite Sam's guns, because I did see that and I went, that's it. I'm buying the DVDs.
All right, guys. And we have got yet another addition to the panel for this evening, and it is the man, the myth, the legend, Vigilante Williamson.
Vigilante Williamson here on another episode Howling About Entertainment. I apologize for being late. And are we talking about things that got canceled? What's going on?
Just in the Looney Tunes realm right now. Wait, did you hear about Speedy Gonzalez, V-Dub?
I heard about Speedy Gonzalez, but I heard there was some pushback from like the community.
Oh yeah,
they were like, hold on.
Fluffy hit back.
Yeah.
Godzillionaire says they never really fully canceled Yosemite Sam because of his guns. It was because he was a redhead. Yes.
Well, they haven't made him like black or Latinx yet, so I can't guarantee that the redhead's an issue. Usually, if they blackwash him, then maybe it was the redhead. That's what they do. That's why I'm excited to be playing Bill Burr in his upcoming documentary or upcoming autobiography. You know what I mean? That's cool.
Well, I mean, if you need a role and you need a few bucks, V-Dub, why would I stop you from playing Bill Burr?
There you go. Why can't I?
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. I see a lot of people saying hi to me in the chat. That makes me feel so welcome. I appreciate it.
Yes. All right. Well,
Mary G.
What can we say? Dildo. You are a popular man, V-Dub, and we are honored to have you on here, my friend. Yeah.
I'm honored to be here. Seriously.
Steph Littlepage wants to know if they're going to go after the Geico Gecko next. I don't know. I mean,
he has was he Australian or European?
Australian.
Or is he Australian? Oh, well, hey, they did
a visa.
Yeah. Yeah, it's colonialism. Australians are colonizers too. So there you go.
Yeah. Yeah. And videos that whatever, you're exactly right. They did try this in the 90s. You're exactly right. From like 98 to 01, Speedy Gonzalez never appeared in any reruns of Looney Tunes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and there was, to their huge credit, just like they're doing today, the Mexican community stood up and said, no, we love Speedy.
And you also need to keep in mind that in the 60s, at the very tail end of Warner Brothers full animation work, before they just pulled the plug because it was too expensive, Speedy Gonzalez was almost all of the cartoons produced in the 1960s.
Yeah,
by Warner Brothers. Friz Freeling did most of them.
He was an incredibly popular character when I was growing up. I didn't notice the 98 to 01 embargo on him. I had no clue that it happened.
Oh yeah, there's Mexican restaurants around here that have Speedy Gonzalez on them as like the mascot.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know what? I said this in actually one of my very first videos about the whole Uncle Ben and Aunt Jemima, because I looked into the history of those characters and that the families didn't want them to change it, but they did anyway, and all this stuff. It's like, why do they do? I know why, but why? You know what I mean? Like, leave this stuff alone. You guys just assume.
Revisionist history.
I blame Apu.
Yeah.
I blame that damn Apu documentary because that's what started it. And I remember apparently there were people who were upset that Apu ended up getting canceled because of it. They just liked the documentary and how it happened, or the history of it. But that Apu thing was the beginning of canceling characters for cultural appropriation.
Oh yeah, man. And Henry Sherman makes a good point here about a Midnight's Edge stream where they were talking about how the Simpsons haven't really been, they haven't been what they originally were for a very long time.
A literal lifetime. There are kids that were are in their 20s that never saw a good Simpsons episode live.
So in Brooklyn, New York, there is a bar on Berry Tree, and once a month they do a Simpsons trivia night, and they have like their big projectors up, and they will only show episodes from the first 11 seasons because the rest of it is just nowhere near as good. And on one of these nights back in, let's say, 2012, there were 200 people sitting in this beer hall watching Simpsons movies. And then they got up to the Stonecutters song, and 200 people with full beer mugs sang the Stonecutters song, which was one of the happiest days of my life. And that's a tragedy, that amazing moment of culture is gone because we're too afraid to express ourselves because we might offend someone a million miles away.
And it's because of the real life Stonecutters that this all happened.
The real life Stonecutters, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The Illuminatis. Yeah.
Watch out.
No, it's like when my friend tells me, it's like, well, I believe in real karma. And I'm like, yeah, real karma. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Dude, so Steph, if they go
Karma
after
that I
famous
have
Amos,
experienced.
she'll be really cranky. I would not be shocked if they do, Steph.
I thought that happened.
They went after
Famous
Aunt
Amos.
Jemima.
Cookies.
They went after Uncle Ben. So both of these are gone. It's not Uncle Ben anymore. You're right.
They went after how many people have Land O'Lakes in their stores?
They went after Land O'Lakes.
Yeah.
Land O'Lakes.
And they
Land O'Lakes,
canceled.
there's no more Indian.
And they canceled
Yeah,
the
and
Aflac Duck.
They kicked
They
the
did?
Indian
They
off the
canceled the
land
Affleck Duck?
and kept the land.
They canceled Gilbert Gottfried, who did his voice
I remember that.
forever over one joke Gottfried told. And then they tried to apparently had a contest to see who could provide the voice of the
I remember
Aflac Duck
that.
now that we have canceled Gilbert Gottfried. And apparently they couldn't find anybody who could do the voice anywhere near as well as him because they didn't call me. And they and yeah, Gottfried, I mean that practically, I think that just about killed whatever career he had left was when they just slam dunked him right out of that voice acting role.
It was an early cancellation. I was like, 5
Yeah, it
years
was.
ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But I was like, that was when I saw the writing on the wall because he told one. Yeah, it was a salty joke, and I could see why some people didn't like it. Okay, that's fine, but you're going to cancel this man's his contract over that? There goes humor.
Yeah, I mean,
Ridiculous. And
There
Uncle
goes comedy.
Ben, not to
That's
cut you
it.
off, it was brought up, but Uncle Ben he was just a chef in Chicago. That's it. Wasn't a slave. He was just a chef.
yep,
That's
right.
why they used him.
It's now being called Ben's Original. Is the new name?
Black people can cook too. So that was, I mean, I don't understand
Yes.
where the racial discriminate. Aunt Jemima, I'll grant. But Uncle Ben's is just like, it's a black guy's mascot, therefore it's racist, so we're getting rid of it.
I honestly, when people say Uncle Ben, I don't think of the product. I think of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
They're like, Uncle Ben.
Yeah,
I'm like, what are
true.
you even talking about? Like, oh, right.
Uncle
Yeah.
Ben's rice, to be specific.
Yeah, I mean, we've
Though
got.
they may cancel actual Uncle Ben from Spider-Man because,
yeah.
paternal nature is bad.
Well, it'll probably be like Aunt Benny, to go along with. I mean, that's what they're doing, right?
Ben.
Aunt Benita or Aunt Benny and Aunt May.
Yeah. Exactly,
There you go.
dude. If they even try to go after Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, dude,
Well, they're the ones making Agatha Harkness and Aunt May hot. This was their decision.
I know there's a lot of.
And I don't disagree with it either, but I'm just saying
There are a lot of Spider-Man traditionalists that did not like there being a good-looking Aunt May. Personally, I didn't have a problem with it.
that was not my issue with the
When I-
Spider-Man.
When I think back to the original
movies.
Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and their Aunt May, didn't really care for her. Not at all. Marissa Tomei, I was watching. I was absolutely watching. I was like, where have I seen you before? In my childhood dreams, absolutely. She's a babe.
Always.
But there was issues. I had issues with that. I didn't like Tony Stark basically being stepdaddy to Spider-Man. I had a lot of issues with that. So the Marissa Tomei casting wasn't an issue, but how it ended up getting used kind of pissed me off.
Dude, I'm not going to pretend I didn't like having a good looking Aunt May. And I got to be honest with you, if you think about it, right? So Spider-Man, he's a teenager and she's his aunt.
It does make sense that she's in her 40s.
Yeah. Right? I mean,
No lie.
the original characterization of her as a grandma age is what actually didn't make sense.
Agree. Unless that was supposed to be his great aunt, but they never said that. They just said aunt.
I am the uncle to a child who was born when I was 11, and I have aunts who were aunts to kids who were born before them.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah,
I do have aunts that are like 30, 40 years older than me. So I mean they do exist. So I mean it just depends on the situation. But it just depends on the situation.
Yeah, I mean
my aunt older than my mom, but they're sisters. Big surprise.
They are still sisters, exactly.
Still sisters
and brothers.
Yeah.
With 20, 25, 30 years between some of them. Yes, parents can have kids.
it happens. It happens. But it's usually your aunts and uncles are of a similar age to your parents. I mean, not identical, but similar. So yeah, I mean, I always thought it was kind of weird that Aunt May looked more like a grandma than an aunt to me.
That's fair.
So
Just don't cuck Spider-Man. I mean, you can have a hot Aunt May and just not make Spider-Man so weak. You can accomplish this. This is not that hard.
You just need a hotter Mary Jane. And
There you
gotta
go.
actually
That's
get with
doable.
it.
No, she's MJ. Remember, there is no Mary Jane, just an MJ.
I don't know what you're talking. Oh, right.
It
The
says,
home movies.
I was like,
Yeah, the Far From Home, Always Home, Home Alone,
I mean,
No Home.
she's
homeless.
cute, and I imagine when she actually grows up, she might be attractive. Like,
Grows up, they've been doing these movies like 3 or 4 years. Isn't
she looks
20?
like she's 5.
She's like 21.
Zendaya? Yeah, isn't she like early 20s?
She's gotta be 21.
She's not that far away from your age, Ace.
They play her down. She looks too young. I mean, maybe I just go for the MILFs, but
She's 24.
24, yeah.
24.
Yeah, all right.
Don't-
all right, that's
Don't ask
7
me.
years younger.
Yeah, canceling Crazy Rich Asians for being offensive to Asians. Yeah, that would be.
That's what they want to do, that type of stuff.
I mean, they wanted to cancel the producers back in the day because of its Nazi imagery. It's like you're not getting this.
I'm surprised,
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't gone after Will Ferrell for the 2005 remake of the producers.
It was so good. It was so silly. I mean, it's really missing the point when you're trying to cancel people for making fun of all the bad things that we should cancel.
I think in some cases that's an intentional missing of the point.
I agree.
It's not accidental.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I still struggle with human beings doing that. I really do.
Yeah, I
don't-
wonder how that happens, but I see it and I can't unsee it, and it drives me nuts personally. I had to explain Blazing Saddles to my stepdaughter before she'd watch it. I said,
Wait.
I said, just what you keep this in mind. Make sure you notice this. The more racist the character is, the more stupid the character is. The smarter they are, the less racist they are. There's your lesson.
Have you
Enjoy
seen the
the
movie
show.
Tank?
From
the
the
80s.
movie Tank?
Yeah.
I heard about it. I didn't watch it.
Okay. It is a dumb nonsense movie about a guy who takes home a Sherman tank, and
Yeah.
And so, like he just leaves it at the federal army base, And in the meantime, he moves to this like southern, hick town, and the sheriff there is the meanest son of a bitch you will ever meet. And he his role in the movie is to offend every single group he can think of, and it is that fun for that reason. He'll do this thing where be like, "Don't bring your Jew lawyer down here," and then I'll be like, "Well." We threw your Jew lawyer into court, into jail for contempt of court. Just that like happiness about it. And then literally halfway through the movie, it's this guy being like, "I've had enough of this sheriff. Time to get my tank." And he just doors go up, and
I have gotta find this.
You do. The next half is just a guy rolling around town in his tank with like, some hot babe jumps on. So it's that hot babe on a tank, and it is so non-PC, and if you don't understand that is the fun of the movie, you'll be canceled. And
what was the name of the movie again?
Just Tank.
Tank? Just
Tank? Tank.
Yeah.
Dude, yes. I have written that down.
I just did.
Because that sounds like fun.
It is literally the halfway point of the movie when you finally get to the tank.
Okay.
Oh God! Is this like inspired by the Killdozer or something like that?
I was just about to ask that.
I don't know what it's inspired by, but it is. It's just like one of those 80s fun movies where it's like, well, we have this surplus Sherman tank. How can we make money off of it? Let's get a hot woman and put her on it. Let's set it up first.
We need a little backstory for this.
Oh, it's great. And it's this guy's son. He runs afoul of the sheriff. And the
What's not setting it up? Hot woman, tank. Sounds great to me.
What's to set up? I don't
know. I know they must have been working double time on that movie to give it.
You had me at Sherman tank.
That is why I watched it. That is exactly why I watched it. It's like, oh, tank. What can you be wrong?
I love the tagline on the poster. A tank a day keeps the law away.
Can you share that, Ironcaster? Let's pull this up.
Bring it.
Oh, that just it sounds great.
It's not. We'll just do this.
You don't do it, I will.
Dude, this is why we talk about stuff like this, because it's fun.
Yes.
All right, here we go. Tank. Oh God, James Garner?
James Garner was in it, yes.
Oh my goodness.
There's actually multiple posters, apparently. This looks like a DVD cover for it. If I scroll up here, we just have this goofy looking... I can't even zoom in. Just like a big old dumb grin on the guy's face. Like a generic poster. Sergeant Major Zach Carey believed in truth, justice, and the American way. Until a small town sheriff set him up and threw his only son in jail for a crime he didn't commit. Now, Sergeant Major Zach Carey is going to try something a little different.
No. You know why we don't know about this?
How have I not?
This came out in 1984. This came out in the same year as Ghostbusters. This came out in the same year as Back to the Future. Well, after
God,
that.
I wish I was alive in 84.
It's that stretch of movies in the mid 80s, and Tank was sitting there in the middle of it.
Yeah, Tank got buried by that, actually.
Oh my
goodness.
Of that,
because of its timing.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a masterpiece, but it delivers exactly what it tells you it's going to do, and it's just fun. But it that sheriff should be canceled. It talks about the blurb talk about the guy's son. The sheriff threatens to have that boy feel the sentient dildo, so to speak, from the other prison mates. So it's really raunchy in that regard. Where this guy just tries to offend everybody, and it's fun, just fun. If you can enjoy offensiveness, I think you've hit maturity.
Okay,
I found a better copy of that goofy looking poster.
Okay, this is, dude. We're gonna. Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Oh God, I love it.
It looks like the brawny paper guy. That's like he should be selling you paper, paper towels.
Paper towels. Yes.
Yeah.
He does.
Oh man. Oh, this
James
is
Garner made a number of movies like this that were
Okay,
just
sorry,
fun. They weren't magnificent
Every
movies.
time I
but
see
they were
his
fun.
face, it's just.
Yeah.
And don't worry,
See that
guys.
face?
It's PG.
Okay, we're gonna take a little risk. We're gonna play the trailer because
Trailer, 1984 trailer, Bubba.
I am just interested now. I have to see this. Let's hope the stream doesn't get nuked.
I'm trying to find
Let's
this on
hope.
streaming right now.
Sergeant Major Zach Carey was not your everyday commuter.
You're the only one in the U.S. Army who owns his own fully operational Sherman tank.
Was his career.
My father is your dad. Cross between George Patton and Danny Thomas.
Oh shit! Oh Jesus!
Was his profession.
He's trying to do an Arlie Ermy there.
A little bit.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Drum roll.
Wow!
Until he got on the bad side of a sheriff.
Yes.
Who didn't have a good side.
I miss these old style trailers too. You don't
Yeah.
see the trailers.
With a deep voiced announcer guy.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's an actor who played a lot of heavies. Who plays
Yeah.
the sheriff?
Oh, this is good. Oh boy! Oh my God! Look at that cell.
It's so ridiculous.
Straight out of Silverado.
Oh man! Oh Jesus! He's on a chain gang.
Yep. County Farm.
Oh my God,
I have to see this movie.
dude!
Yeah.
We're so watching this.
Oh my God, yes.
I think he just pissed himself.
Yeah, he did.
Holy shit!
Can't believe this movie
Oh,
got made.
The hot girl on the tank. Here she is.
Yeah.
Hop aboard.
Oh yeah, that'll work. And yes, through the escape hatch. That's real. That does exist. That was an emergency exit.
Look like some
Oh my
Alabama
God.
clay there.
It's a tank.
Was murdered for-
What in the ever-loving hell is this? This is great.
Would that keep them uncanceled since they're fighting cops? Does that balance it out since they hate cops?
I don't know.
That
I
is
don't know.
that's
SJW
an
mad.
essay-worthy question.
How many of those?
I think it should balance it out.
Oh my God.
Come on.
Yeah.
Tank.
The
It delivers
inspiration
on what it
for
is,
every
doesn't it?
monster truck show.
1984 American Picture, if I ever saw one.
Holy
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 84 is one of the most stacked years in movie history. So I see how that
It
can
is.
get lost in the shuffle. But that seems like a solid, fun little movie.
Yeah.
If it came out a couple years before or a couple years after, I think we probably would have known about it.
Oh God,
Yeah.
yeah. If it had not come out when it did, that would have been a big movie compared with what it
Yeah.
was.
That seems
Because
like one of those cult
it did
classics,
get
right?
overshadowed.
Wow. It was squished right between Children of the Corn and Splash the weekend before, and Police Academy the weekend after.
Oh my
That's the
God.
most stacked year in
Destroy it.
history. 84 is like insane. All the movies that came out that year.
Oh jeez.
Speaking of stacked, by the way,
Are these images from the movie here, Mr. Freeze?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and that was C. Thomas Howell playing his son in an early role for him.
C.
it looks
Thomas,
like.
really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's his son. That's why I just went to IMDb because I'm like that. He looks familiar, but I need IMDb to tell me. Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, this looks like classic 80s cheese that there is a giant gaping hole in our lives that we have not seen Tank before.
Absolutely.
Society has gone gluten free, and we need to bring that cheese back.
That's right.
I don't know where anybody's at in life, but when Shirley Jones
Don't
asks
tell me
you,
that, Harry Sherman.
"Can I hop on?" The answer is yes.
Yeah.
What a babe! What a babe!
No.
Emily Harrison?
Wow. I'm still just astonished that I have never heard of this movie. She's not gluten
She is not
free.
gluten-free.
No.
How there is something missing in my life that I have not seen Tank.
So the way I saw it, I was at so my junior year of college, I was living with a buddy, and I was in one fraternity, he was in another, and his fraternity had a bunch of like army guys in it, ROTC guys in it, and they had all of these like funny movies like this. So one day, this was like what was on, and we just sat and watched it and drank beers, and it's a great night.
Dude, that's like, this is a perfect like fraternity guys night movie.
Absolutely.
I'm angry I never had this exact movie night in my fraternity back in the day.
I gotta say that fraternity
Feel
was
the
a lot
misogyny
more fun
welling
than
up
mine.
within you, don't you? You feel it. You feel it must be satisfied. You will watch the movie. Yes.
I embrace it wholeheartedly, yes.
Let it flow.
Steph
It
says
will drive you.
her favorite 84 movie was also her first rated R movie she could watch without the parents' approval, The Terminator. Yeah. And yes, yet another reason why nobody knows about this movie, because it's the same year.
Look, speaking of which, I'm looking at 84. You have Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters, Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, Gremlins, Karate Kid, Police Academy, Footloose, Romance of the Stone, Splash, Star Trek 3, and then Terminator also was mentioned.
Wow.
These are just some movies.
Those are all better than Tank, probably.
I'm sure.
Star Trek 3.
All of them are.
Oh, yeah,
All of
Star
them
Trek
are.
3. Which one's that one
Yeah.
again?
Search for Spock.
Search for Spock.
Search for
Oh,
Spock.
this is Spinal Tap
not
came out.
bad.
Children of the Corn.
Ooh, Spinal.
I'm just, this is a very stacked year.
Friday
That's
the
why I
13th
never saw
part.
Tank, because
chapter.
there was so much
Friday
help.
13th. Yeah. Chapter. I'm going through the month.
Dude, I
16
see.
Candles.
Gremlin.
Even Breaking,
Wow.
which is a
Karate Kid.
classic. Yeah, Karate
Wow.
Kid.
No wonder we all
Conan,
missed this.
The
Beat
Destroyer.
Street. Conan. Yeah.
I didn't miss it. I just couldn't go see some of the movies because they were rated R.
Never Ending Story. Revenge of the Nerds. Jungle Book. Yeah, there was no
Wow.
chance you were going to find out this movie. This is like
Purple
the
Rain.
most stacked year. Purple Rain did come out in 84.
Good God.
Yeah, this
Is
is
1984 like one of the best years in cinema history?
It is.
Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah,
But-
it is kind of
Absolutely.
This is an argument for movie files everywhere. 1984. If you haven't heard about it, 1984 is the big year. Thank you for looking that up, Vigilante, because I was going to do that. But 1984 is so thick with movies. You go back there, and if you do not have these things sitting on your shelf, grab the movie list from 1984 and fill that thing out, and that will fill yourself with movie nights for months.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is definitely like the original Dune came out. There's a lot of movies. I'm just going through the list, and even some bad but well-known movies came out in 84. And I've known of 84 as this iconic year for film, but just looking at the list, it's like insane. Yeah, I'm looking at that same list on Wikipedia. It's insane. So I don't know how. Yeah, this movie was going to get lost in the shuffle. It had no chance.
Wow.
No chance.
I mean,
No chance.
the quality of movies this year is just, it's incredible.
We'll never get
84
another year like that.
89 are the two best years.
Cannonball
arguably.
Run
89 is
2.
also a good one.
Yeah. All right. Now let's compare it to 2020, guys.
We can't
Do it.
compare it to
There,
2010.
COVID closed them. You'd have
They
to
didn't
compare it to
release-
19.
They
Compared
didn't
to
release as
1919.
many movies as were good in 84 in 2020. That's
wow.
they're not even on the same page.
Oh,
I don't think the 21st century has
exactly.
1984.
Put it
I would
this
agree.
way.
not even
either.
not even
Here's
The
one
past
for you.
20 years, we don't have as many
Go back to
franchises
the
that came
80s.
out that year.
Here's one for you. I got a good one for you. 2019, the year, the movie that made the most, now currently the most money, and probably never again, Endgame. The amount of money made in 2019 versus the corrected amount of money made in 1984 or maybe even 1989. And I'd really like 1984. Correct those the amount of money made in cinema dollars that year as compared to 2019.
Oh, now there's a good one there. 1984 came out in 1984.
Of course it did. But yeah, if you adjust for inflation, I can't imagine.
Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I'm sure if you adjust for inflation,
Supergirl.
84 probably had at least 15, like what we would now have billion-dollar movies, at least.
Oh yeah.
Because just Ghostbusters alone has to, like, I'm looking at this list and just looking at the list of like non-adjusted what they made.
And of course,
I'm like,
the also
Breaking
popular
2, Electric Boogaloo.
yeah. Breaking 2, Electric Boogaloo did come out, which I don't know if I can say the name anymore. Johnny Dangerously, yeah.
Wow. Good Lord. No wonder nobody's heard of Tank.
Yeah.
Right?
The month it came out, think about this. The month it came out, it had to compete with This Is Spinal Tap, Children of the Corn, Pete's Dragon got re-released, Police Academy, and
the original Police
Romancing
Academy?
the Stone. Yes, the original Police Academy.
The original.
And Romancing the Stone, all the same month it released.
Wow.
It had no
as well.
chance. The same month.
Even at a big Cineplex, even at a place with 6 or 7 screens, it would have been buried by half of those movies.
And 6 or 7 screens was huge in 84.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, it
That's
was.
what I was about to ask.
Big as they got.
I
They
know
had
that
those
there are
20
like
plexes, so-
huge cineplexes now, but I
Yeah,
can't imagine that being like that in the 80s.
If you had 6 screens
Bill
in
and Ted.
84, I mean, you were like a movie mecca.
The
Back
Mighty
then.
Quinn.
I bumped over to 89 now for the other greatest year ever. We got Toxic Avenger Part 2,
Bill and Ted.
Baron Munchausen.
Yeah,
That was negative 3 is
that's one that ought to get more recognition than
I
it
was.
does.
I was 5 Islington Girls, so I missed most of these in theaters as well.
Castle in the Sky came out.
Matter of fact, that Fletch Lives, isn't that the same girl from Tank? The second
Oh, it
girl
might
that he
be.
ran into?
Shirley Jones.
You just brought up that picture, and I'm going like, wait a second, I think that's her.
This is great. Yeah, Romancing the Stone. Tank
Cyborg.
would outperform Wonder Woman 84 and the Eternals this year.
I agree.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
agree. Absolutely. Yes, that's true.
Toxic
No,
Avenger.
I
Major
don't doubt
League.
that.
Ooh, that was
Major League was super fun.
It's one of the
Yeah,
That was a great
89.
one. I love that one.
Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
All right,
Mixed
ladies
on
and
that.
gentlemen, we have been
Might have been
joined
different.
by the Egyptian god of the North, Lord Thoth.
Hell, Lord Thoth.
Hail,
Lord
everybody.
Thoth.
It's great to see you all. I hope you're all doing good tonight.
Real quick, before you're coming in, what was the best year in cinema?
Holy cow.
It's looking like 84.
I'd have to say the 80s.
I know
82.
there's another. Man, 82 does have.
Easy.
Earth Girls are easy.
Part 2.
Oh boy.
Earth Girls are easy.
Man, 84 is looking like the craziest year for film history. And then in
We
84,
got
doesn't
Roadhouse.
you have a lot of
Followed
good
by
albums
Indiana
come out in
Jones.
84. Didn't Van Halen come out in 84? The Purple Rain album came out in 84. There's a few good.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a classic zenith
Dead
for like
Poet
pop culture.
Society in 89.
That's a good one. That's a
That
good
was
one.
really good.
I'm
Vampire
still not
Kiss.
seeing this. This still isn't holding a candle to 84.
It's
Star Trek 5.
It's very
Both
different.
It was Star Trek
I'm
film.
sorry.
good.
1982 had
Maybe there's a measure
last
right.
unicorn. The last
Hey.
unicorn came out in 1982.
I remember the last unicorn.
So my
And-
nieces and nephew would say 1982 was the best year ever.
But that's a
Interestingly,
measure
though,
right there. 84
years-
versus 89.
Oh, 89 is a good
It was
year.
Ghostbusters film.
Yeah, the Henry
Yes,
Sherman mentioned
89 is
Batman.
Ghostbusters 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
Batman 89.
Henry Sherman
Batman.
mentions Pet Cemetery as being a not a great movie, but people talked about it. And
It's
yes,
well
it-
liked.
It was a
It
Stephen
was
King
written.
movie.
Yes.
That's another year we got a movie from 84 getting a sequel. Karate
Karate
Kid.
Yeah,
Kid.
that's 3 of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got
Well,
Weekend
you
at
see-
Bernie's.
Lethal Weapon, that's 4.
Oh, Weekend
Ooh,
at
Lethal
Bernie's. Oh
Weapon.
God, that's
That
a
was
classic.
good.
89's got some heat. I'm looking at 82. It has some interesting
82
Ron.
was a good year.
82 because it has E.T., Fast Time at Ridgemont High.
That's a
yeah,
really
it's some
good
My
classic
movie.
years.
favorites.
Star Trek:
Airplane
The Wrath
2,
of Khan.
48 Hours. Star Trek 2. I'm just going. No,
48
this says
Hours, yeah,
alphabetical
Dark
order.
Not that I
Tron,
know of Sentient,
Grease.
but I wouldn't be
Ooh,
surprised.
Tron does come out in 82. I
Tron.
actually do like the original Tron.
Blade Runner.
Godzillionaire
Right.
makes the observation that 84 and 89 both had Ghostbusters movies.
Yep.
They did.
Oh, we also
They
They
did.
both had
They
Karate
did.
Kid movies. They both had
Police
both had,
Academy, Lethal Weapon.
Friday the 13th, Police
Friday-
Academy movies.
they both had a Star Trek.
They both, yeah. God, those are some great years. of
84 had Star Trek 3, and 89 had Star Trek 5.
Yeah, Henry says, "Damn, we're never going to have another year like that with so many classics, and it'll be at least 5 years plus till movies can get close to
Oh,
Endgame money."
there's one more.
They'll
84
never
had
get that.
Chud. 89 had Chud 2.
Oh, Jesus!
Oh well, there you go.
Wow.
What year was Porky's?
79?
Sounds right, but I'd have to
Wait.
look.
When was Porky's 2? Porky's Revenge.
You needing to go on a little bit of a marathon
Okay.
there, Ace? Is that the
81.
Oh, okay. I mean, those movies were a little bit.
Oh, and there was
Racy?
a Halloween in both years.
Wow.
A little.
Of course, that's a little cheating to go for the slasher films where like every other year they had one.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
still
no,
count.
You can kind of pick any year in the 80s, especially the early 80s, and it's a great year in movies.
We were
Yeah.
so spoiled.
Yes.
Oh my
Isn't
God.
it
we were
crazy
spoiled.
though that we're talking about 1984 and literally, and this is no exaggeration, more franchises were originated in 1984 than the past 20 years combined.
Yeah.
By a long shot.
So outside of Iron Man starting the MCU franchise, what new franchises have been made in the last 20 years? In the 21st century, what
There's
new
only two I can
franchises are
think
there?
of, and they're still kind of cheesy. It's Fast and the Furious and Transformers. I can't think. Though outside of that in the MCU, there's no other list. There's no
No,
other
guys, don't worry. Avatar. We're never getting those movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, in 2050, we'll have George R.R. Martin's last book, Avatar 2, and whatever nonsense James Cameron could think of.
Yeah, Back to the Future was 85. Yeah, 85 was another very good year. And then The Thing in 82. Oh, God, The Thing.
comes on 82.
That's
The
82.
remake of The Thing did not hold the candle to the original.
Conan the Barbarian was 1982.
Ooh, another good one.
Rocky 3 was 1982. Beastmaster was 1982.
The fact that Rocky is so
Poltergeist.
say as
When
old.
did
but
Rocky 4
that
come out?
just
That
blows my mind.
85?
I think Rocky 4 was 84. Wait,
that 80? I
85.
didn't see that yet.
85, I think.
Yeah, 85 is a pretty good
Yeah,
year, too. whole
the
80s,
original Rocky, wasn't that? Was that 78?
76 or 77? Maybe 78.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you're right.
that's so
78,
impressive.
80, and 82 is probably when they did those.
Mhm.
Rocky
1, 2
was
yeah, I think
76,
it's
wasn't it? I thought
Oh, was it
Rocky was
76?
76.
Was it 76? Yeah, I could be remembering wrong.
Let's get on
The
Google
original
machine
was-
to verify.
Get on the Google.
Back there.
Dude, and they're
76.
still
It is 76.
they are still making Rocky movies today.
Yeah.
They're called
That's-
Creed.
that's
They're
good
called
franchise.
Creed now,
They're
but they're
Rocky
still
movies,
making
though.
them. Yes, we are overlooking the greatest franchise ever created. Clearly, Batwoman.
Batwoman.
Are we talking about the creation of the ETAP videos or
What? There's not lots of EFAP into Batwoman?
You're talking
I'm
about-
shocked.
Listen,
You're
I would
talking
about
about-
Batwoman in a different setting because Javicia Leslie is beautiful, but that show is
Agreed.
not worth watching.
Oh, that's not the franchise starter. If you're talking
That's
about
the Batman.
franchise, you're talking about what is the origin of the CW.
Well, then it'd
Are we
be
talking about
Arrow.
Supernatural? Are we? I mean,
you're right. Supernatural. As far as
I would say
CW.
Arrow.
how far do you go back? Because
No.
Arrow is the start of the
The modern one.
DC CW, isn't it?
Did Buffy,
Lanky verse.
did Buffy start at the CW?
The CW wasn't around then.
Yeah,
Well,
it
it
wasn't
wasn't around
CW
then.
back then.
It was
Well,
the
but then when
WB.
CW was created,
UPN.
wasn't she one of the franchises that launched CW?
Yeah, because there were a few franchises that were holdover from the WB
Right.
UPN era that transitioned into the CW. So that Buffy could have been one of those first years. I don't remember enough to know.
Yeah, wow, I did not know this. This is an interesting little factoid, Henry. So in the original, Stallone sold his brother's song rights when his brother's group sang in the movie.
Oh,
Yes.
sheesh.
Wow.
That's a little known piece of trivia.
Yeah.
Smallville, I think.
One
was
that I
the
often forget.
thing that transition. I think
Smallville.
Smallville did transition into the CW. That was a WB
Because
show that transitioned.
yeah, did was Smallville any? Would you consider that CW? Would you consider it the start of the franchise? Because
I consider it a WB show that led into it was really most of it is on the WB.
Now
And
I
then
know
the last few seasons I think we'll see.
I know when they did the Crisis event, they crossed over Smallville, but
they crossed over
Smallville
everything.
Smallville was not part of the Arrowverse.
They also
Not
crossed
originally.
They also crossed over with Batman 86. They had
Yes.
Burt Ward make a cameo. And he got to do one of his Robin quips.
So like,
Holy hand grenades, Batman!
I wouldn't
Because
consider
that has been the Arrow was the Arrow and
Flash.
the Arrow and Flash started out as a solid franchise
Agreed.
and then fell.
I would compare it to grunge in that Arrow would be the Nirvana, definitely like it's very recognizable. This is the genre, and everything else that follows. But before that, you sort of have like Neil Young, who is not grunge, but he's sort of grunge. You know, it's like on that path. And I think Smallville is everything that the CW was going to be.
Because you bring that up, and that's one
Smallville
reason
Pearl Jam?
I tossed Supernatural into there because, as far as I know, there is nothing they were going to do to connect the two, but it was a sort of Berlantiverse-esque thing, if you get my drift.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard too many complaints about Smallville in the same way that you hear about the rest of the Arrowverse. Once you get
it
past
was the
the
more
first,
solid one. I mean, I didn't even favor it because it was extreme episodic to me when I first started watching it. It was extremely short, extremely compartmentalized episodes that eventually built in.
Right there.
Yep, the
That's
Islington
right.
girl. She got it. Yes, Harry Potter. That
There you
is-
go.
You know
That's
what?
a modern 21st century franchise.
That is.
I mean-
and I thought of two more, and maybe you won't like them, maybe you will. But old Twilight. Twilight was a 21st century franchise.
Yeah, it
made a ton of
was.
money. I know it's a
It
grown.
was.
Hunger
And
Games.
Hunger Games is the other one I was going to bring up. Yep, those are technically
Yeah.
21st
Okay.
century.
Yeah.
But
So
Hunger
Hunger
Games-
Is
but all of those franchises have died.
Well,
We haven't had
every
a
one of
movie in,
them.
10 years? When was the last movie?
Well,
Very
Harry
true.
Potter
Twilight
had a
managed-
definitive end, and that
Yes.
helps.
And
Well, so did
Twilight Twilight and Hunger Games both had a definitive end, but they were both that same idea that they were trying to catch something. They were trying to catch that. They were trying to catch that Harry Potter money. They were trying to catch that Harry Potter fandom. They were trying to catch that Harry Potter glow, that glitter.
The lightning in a bottle.
Leave it to
Yes.
sentient dildo, and he's right. 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh,
Well,
I
it
don't know.
was,
That's not untrue. That's not untrue. Yeah,
Raise your
Two
hand in the
movies.
chat if you saw those or read those.
I've never seen or read a 50 Shades of Grey.
I have
I've-
seen
and I
all
never
three of
will.
those movies. And with my wife.
I was
Well,
waiting for that clarification.
you have Miss Thoth in yoga pants, so it's a different story.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lady Thoth.
Lady Thoth, yeah.
If she's dragging you to see 50 Shades of Grey, then I congratulate you on the fun night you had afterwards.
Exactly.
That's
You
all
know
I've
what I
got
mean?
to say.
Wait,
there.
wait,
Drag you over there.
Jake D, that would be plural. Nights.
Congratulations.
oh, okay then. We don't. Need
Thank
to
you,
know
Sentient
anymore.
Dildo.
Yeah, no,
Or do
that's
we?
yeah.
Continue,
That's,
continue. Let's go.
Yes, Ace Mr. Freeze wants to continue. Go ahead with your questioning, Ace Mr.
Fire away.
I just wanted more details about that night. Yeah.
The knights, plural, knights.
Great.
Knights plural.
Let's just say we had to try on some of those outfits.
Oh,
There you
go. Oh, damn it! You
The
managed
Thoths
it.
were having fun.
You managed it again, Thoth. For sharing for sharing a little bit of TMI.
That's a lot of that's a lot of alimony. I think I'm owing.
Oh man.
You're going to need to start producing videos on YouTube and get monetized, Lord Thoth. I think that's the only way you're going to be able to handle
for all
that.
the divorces. That's right. It's funny he should say 50 Shades of Jean Grey. Gotta love me some gingers.
There you go.
Apparently, so is the whole X-Men
Jean Grey.
universe right now.
I got a little.
Oh, yes. In honor of the 50 Shades of Jean Grey. Here we go.
I don't know. I think Wolverine should be beside Cyclops, or maybe slightly behind him.
Unfortunately, Wolverine's going last.
Oh man!
Or maybe is he going first? Maybe they're going the other way. Who knows?
Oh, maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah, this is. Oh god,
he's popping his claws.
The only thing not comic book accurate, I think you can switch with some of the few of the faces, but there are that many people currently shaboinking Jean Grey right now.
Is that Namor? The second from the right? Is that Namor?
Namor. Wolverine.
Namor. Deep cut.
Gambit and Magneto. My goodness.
Magneto and old Cyclops.
So Ascension Dildo says that the kink community hates 50 Shades because apparently it got everything wrong.
Is Ascension Dildo a part of said community? He's having his own issues with 50 Shades.
He may be.
Are we going down that rabbit hole? I don't.
That's a very deep rabbit hole.
We're inside that rabbit hole already.
I think we are. This fuzzy rabbit hole with fuzzy handcuffs.
Yeah, the Islington girl's got some issues with your image there, Ironcaster.
Yeah, it should be
Funny that she's pretty friendly with Magneto as well.
Yeah, the modern canon of X-Men, it's become a swingers party.
Indeed.
Well, Rogue in the comic books there, when they were trapped in the Savage Land with Magneto there, she could actually touch Magneto. So there was the big romance that went on there.
Yeah, and Ascension Dildo, guys, you were right. He does indeed dabble. been to a few Eyes Wide Shut parties, apparently. Why am I not
my
surprised?
eyes wide open?
I had a friend invite me to a party like that, and I was thinking that this friend wanted to hook up, but no, she just wanted to invite me to the party because she thought I'd be a fun person to go with. I was like, I don't think you understand what I would want from this. So I didn't go. But what a terrible invitation. Do you want to go to a sex party as a viewer?
Just what? Well, if you really want to have a good time, bring 3 sets of keys.
Well, it was the kind of thing where it's if you're okay with us separating, then absolutely. No, I want you to be there with me because I'll feel safe that way.
Ace, you've just inspired a new achievement that I'm going to have ready for next week, brother.
Oh boy!
Oh boy! Oh, suspense!
Oh, yeah, it's going to be the disappointment achievement. Yeah.
Yeah, Dust, you're right. We covered that yesterday. The X-Men are just the mutants now.
We covered
that yesterday on my channel on the Brave and the Bold.
Yes, we went into
We were
that.
having fun there for a while.
Ace was friend zoned. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. I want you to take you to a fun party, but you can just be there to protect me. Who says that?
Well, right. As the conversation went on, and she's telling me that she's got this girlfriend now, and I'm like, okay, these things are starting to make sense because a year ago you had a boyfriend, so I understand I was not privy to all the information on him, but I was told, hey, sex party, you're invited. I was like, yes, just let's put the rubber on, let's go. And it's like, oh, slow down there, cowboy.
Oh, to be young and single again.
Yeah. Being young and single is like sort of like the weather report. Drought. It's stormy. It's rainy. It's drought. Stormy, rainy.
Yeah, that's about what I remember. Yeah.
Or it can be like you're married, where it's drought.
Oh, you earned that one, buddy.
Nailed
that. You've earned that twice today, Thoth.
Wow. I think
about
that's
that
an achievement
category?
itself.
What about that 50 Shades of Grey Category 5 hurricane? Drought.
Category 5.
Hey, gentlemen, Flava Flav's in the chat.
Hell, Flavor Flav.
Oh,
He's been moving.
Hail the Nick Weiser.
Good to see. All right, Nick will be back officially next weekend. Looking forward to it, brother. So Nick has been moving into a new place. It's taken him a couple weeks to get everything settled. He did finally get his internet back on Friday, but he couldn't get his computer running, and he's waiting on some parts to come tomorrow. So
Technical difficulties.
Well, I hope it's all working out and everything's going good. And
Freaking
doing okay
computer
there,
monitor
Flavor Flavs.
cable.
Yeah, we miss you.
we do miss you, Flavor Flavs.
Yeah.
It'll be good to see you back.
Islington girl, I hate to say, I'm with Ascension Dildo. We don't believe you on this story. We just don't. I got all the love in the world. I don't believe anything a woman says about anything when it comes to her dating life at all, ever. It's not true.
You know what? I do believe her, probably because guys are the ones who want invites to the spicy clubs. You know what I'm saying?
See, before first date,
Girls
this was
just
date.
get
I don't know what
invited.
date this was on that he asked you. There we go.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right.
I told you.
Not
least
before
be the
first
second
date. All right.
Yeah,
There
the
you
second
go.
date at least.
And no, hey, you're not on trial, Islington girl. No one's judging you.
Oh, hell no.
No one's judging anybody.
We do not kink shame or sex shame, with the exception of
Let's say we have
Thoth's
Judge.
drought. That
Hey, we're
will
just
judge.
trying to save thought for alimony payments in the future. That's it. We want him.
That's why you plug in the sprinkler.
There you go.
Gotta go feed the ducks.
Metaphor.
Metaphor. Or if you're Wanda, you create a vision right out of everything and nothing.
Well, I mean, when your sentient dildo breaks, you do just need to
Hex.
create a new one, which is what Wanda did.
kidnapped
That's for
An
sure.
entire town for a sentient dildo, literally, and that
Yes,
was the story, and got away with it.
Yes.
I'll
And
never watch anything from Disney again, ever again. And I will miss nothing.
Dude, it is the perfect segue because I want to talk about the MCU. And WandaVision's conclusion was absolutely the introduction and the creation and the ushering in of the new era of the MCU. So let's talk about it, right? I mean, dude, to V-Dub's point, Wanda was the villain of that show.
Yep.
She was the villain. She kidnapped an entire
No, she was the hero.
town.
Strong women.
She mind controlled everybody in it.
That's so strong.
She forced the kids to stay in their rooms and stop parents from even being able to see their kids, so much so that they begged her to just let them see their children. Wanda was a villain.
There was a guy who had a family member that he hadn't seen in a year who was sick, stuff like that. Their whole lives were hijacked.
I
But
think
at least she has her
it was
costume.
empowering.
Yeah, at least she has her costume now. She's a strong, independent woman. She doesn't need no man. She has a dildo that moves and thinks, so she don't need no man. And strong and empowered.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree with you a little bit, Henry. She wasn't the hero either. I mean, she was just the villain to me. What she did, while granted was a reaction to grief, it was fucking evil.
Having no Mephisto to be the bad guy that was brainwashing her really like hurt to me. I didn't see it. I stopped watching at the PHO, but I've like kept notes on spoilers and stuff like that. I just don't. It makes her look so bad.
It all revolves around her dealing with her grief. That was the entire show. This was how she dealt with her grief over the loss of vision. And the thing is that this is what she did. So what you're watching is this person is doing this to herself, and then as soon as she takes over the town, she's doing it to everybody else. And it isn't until she's pulled out of it at the end that she pulls herself back in. I mean, she's functionally Magneto, and other people are getting the villain to do things in order to move the story forward. And she ends still the villain. She got away. She is out there being more capable of causing more trouble later.
And she was let go by our now third most powerful being in the MCU, Photon, who basically said, you know what, you're right. If I could do that, I'd totally bring my mom back and kidnap everybody too. Get out of here, girl. You go, girl.
Who was created by her.
Yeah, I have 3 things to say. One, Flava Flav's even had a good idea where he was talking about Nightmare. You could have had Mephisto, you could have had Nightmare, you could have even had the Darkhold. So you could have had Chthon. So you could have had the ancient dark evil god from the original part of the universe, one of the big guys who created the Darkhold to house all of his mystical knowledge, which is evil. You could have had that controlling Agatha and through her controlling Wanda, and had the big fight at the end where Wanda breaks free and finally realized they were trying to control her to absorb her power as the Scarlet Witch. Okay, That's based on just the MCU stuff that they've introduced here. 2, I think that they really did a huge disservice to that character, because even if they went back and they read the comic books that this is based on, there's a whole bunch of stuff there that you could bring into the story without her having to be this mental rapist. It's a very comparison.
Yeah.
You compare her to the Purple Man in the Jessica Jones series. She controlled people.
It's the exact same thing
for her own desires and her own needs and wants. Like, she mentally raped and she controlled those people, and they put like that is I mean, one of the worst issues on the criminal code. And one last thing. And why are we arresting the director of S.W.O.R.D. at the end? He was right. Know. He was right.
What did he do to deserve to get arrested?
He was white and male.
Wait, he gets arrested at the end? Even though
he's arrested. He's the only one who will answer for doing the right thing. Everything that he did was militarily and situationally appropriate.
What's to prevent him from doing it again?
And the most irritating character in the show said, "Enjoy prison."
For what?
Oh my God! Oh Lord, I missed nothing, man. I wish.
Well, you're better off. I wish I hadn't watched it.
I'm so angry.
One episode.
I wish there was a way of anti-watching everything they come out with. Like, I wish there was I'm just gonna not watch, but that genuinely pisses me off as a payoff. I really, really liked the first 2 episodes of this series / season, whatever it's gonna be, like a lot. And I thought this might be the best thing the MCU ever produces, and it's one of the worst.
All they had to do was just make it so that somehow Agatha was manipulating her into using her power this way, and you get rid of a lot of the problems with this show.
You take away her agency, she is no longer the bad guy. He's a tool.
I'd like to see an interview where somebody, we know this won't happen, asks one of the creators at Marvel, who was supposed to be the hero in WandaVision? Because I don't see a hero in this show.
There was one.
We lay that up to you to discover for your own mind.
There was one. Vision. Vision was heroic in the show.
Yep.
Yes,
I'll give you that.
Also, he was
the director of S.W.O.R.D. was a hero, but he was
he actually was. Like, no, he was not doing anything wrong. There was a big fucking problem And he was trying to take care of it to the best of his ability as the director of a military organization. And he's trying to take out a major superpowered problem. He did nothing wrong.
Nope. He didn't.
Man.
He was even being surgical in all of his efforts.
Yes.
He was doing the best he could with the tools and information that he had. He did not even make a mistake based. I mean, I would have to EFAP this to get specific, but he did not appear to make a mistake based on information he had with every step that he took in the process of this program.
And in trying to prevent collateral damage. He did a lot of efforts to try to prevent collateral damage, including take her out. Like, that's what you have to do. When you have a terrorism level threat that involves if she's the most powerful, one of the most powerful creatures on the planet, she's like a weapon of mass destruction. You take that out. You don't allow her to walk away, because what's to prevent her from doing it tomorrow or next week? And if you can't stop her, then what do you got to do? You have to use... So you use the most forces as reasonably necessary to contain the threat. And that is... In this case, she has to be executed. Like, you can't let her walk away after what she's just done.
And that's why X-Men was so good when those movies came out, because you understood exactly why the government was acting its way, and you understood exactly why Magneto was acting his way, and exactly why Xavier was trying to bridge this gap. Like, everybody was a little good and a little bad, and they played that honestly. And I'm just thinking,
that's a good point. Yeah, Clobber in Times there has a really good point in the chat too, about him shooting at the kids. That's to try to vilify him at the end to make him a bad guy when really he didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, that was it, man. I want the crew to address Mary G's comment too.
I was just going to talk about Mary G's point.
I
addressed it to plug the Vigilante Williams show. I addressed it the night before, because the night before they announced, there's no big reveal. We've been teasing this shit for 2 or 3 months, however long the show was. But we were just lying. We just lied to you. We literally just lied. There was no Magneto. There was nothing. There was nothing. I thought when I heard that, like, Magneto and Mephisto is going to show up, but it's not. It's not a Luke Skywalker level reveal. No,
they were limiting expectations. They were resetting us all. Because they had realized we had carried this. I mean, even Bettany said it. Bettany was almost honest with us, because he said, the people were coming up with better stories. That sounds better than we could have done. And he was like letting it out there. I would even expect some Disney handler to go back and say, you really went farther than you should have when you said those things.
Man. And Mary G said she wanted Iron Man. I kind of wanted a crazy reveal. When she said it was a Luke Skywalker level reveal, and I think it was just another Redshirt who said it. It's like it has to be an Iron Man, Captain America. That's the only thing on that level. And we didn't even get Magneto. We didn't even get Mephisto. We didn't get Nightmare. We didn't do anything.
And SPN
we didn't even get Quicksilver. We never get Quicksilver. We got a stupid dick joke.
Yeah,
we got a stupid dick joke.
Evan Peters was a dick joke all along.
So are the rest of you excited for the rest of the year of Marvel content that they have coming out?
Well, I am excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Let me tell you why. You want to know why I'm excited for Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
It's going to make you some money.
Material.
Because I'm gonna buy me a Falcon head. That's what I want to do.
There we go. Let's see if Falcon and Winter Soldier can get Jake demonetized. That's the goal.
Jake, you had a comment from the.
Here's a little. I might need a card from VW for this one. We'll see how it plays. Monetization.
There's not going to be any deserts there, eh? I didn't know
Miss Marvel was coming out this year.
Oh, and Mrs. Loki too. You have Mrs. Loki to look forward to,
and Miss Hawkeye.
I do know about Miss Loki and Miss Hawkeye.
There was something Rayron VR said. Did this really advance the story in the universe at all? Just felt like another random backstory, and that's what I was thinking, because I'm not watching this show. I'm just getting what Nerdrotic says, and this sounds like something that should be placed around the Ultron time, because if you are going to make Wanda be this, like villainous character who thinks she's doing good. Like that's the kind of storyline you want in the, what is it? The Accords. So it's after Ultron.
Yes.
Yeah. Like this is the kind of stuff that would make the Accords seem viable, because in those movies, they just felt like a mechanism. I didn't feel like Ultron was like the reason to have the Accords. Like that was like, no, like, but this sounds like it could fit there. And
you're explaining my big issue. This is Civil War. That's why I didn't like Civil War.
I'm sorry. I've been trying to say this for about 3 minutes. I saw that comment and I don't think this advanced the story. I think it's far worse than a backstory where some random trip to an ice planet in Mandalorian that just was a side story. This has twisted the story, and you called it, JD, and so is Nerdrotic. This is the MCU. This didn't advance the story. It has moved it into an alternate time track. And this is where the guy who didn't do anything wrong and who was trying to contain a incredibly awful problem is the one who's going to go to jail. And the woman who enslaved everybody in a town, she gets to go away, because guess why?
The hero.
Not only does she get to go away, but she gets to go become more powerful.
Right.
More powerful.
This is not advanced the story.
Darkness, the dark hole.
So I would say this has not advanced the story. It's perverted it. That's my take.
Just to hop on that, and speaking of perversion, if they keep putting out these pictures of Elizabeth Olsen looking just super fine, then I'm going to be super torn about this one, because like they're just making her look beautiful all the time. And I mean, they've got something to work with. I agree with that. But there's nothing here other than pretty pictures.
Elizabeth Olsen leading the MCU.
Young lady.
Yeah. Her leading the MCU.
Really talented.
Oh, yeah. She did a good job.
I agree. This is damn near a star-making vehicle for showing her talent. But man, holy smokes!
I mean, I know her sisters. I grew up watching her sisters, and what was it, Family Matters or something?
No, Full House.
Full House. Yeah, they were back to back.
Oh, Full House.
They were literally back to back.
Like 7:30 and 8.
Yes, she is a quality actress, and she took material that destroyed the universe and made it gorgeous because of her talent.
And he means talent, not her talents. I mean, for real.
She's got because we already know. I mean, Ace, thank you for bringing it up, Ace, Mr. Freeze. She definitely has just her feminine characteristics are just that much more, because we adhere to this as being men who like women, and who like women who have traits of womanliness, and who have traits that just make us want to be more men, for all of the masculinity that entails. But the thing is that she's also a talented woman who really carried the role that they had her play through. Unfortunately, it was written a certain way to do exactly what Justin Redshirt said.
Yeah, and SBN Dusk, I think what they did in WandaVision, honestly, was even worse. I mean, Wonder Woman, now, she was only doing horrible things to one person. Right? I mean, dude, the whatever dude that Steve was possessing, that Diana decided to just completely violate, that was one dude. Wanda did this to an entire town of people. I mean, she's way worse than Wonder Woman was. So yeah, I mean, all right.
This reminds me of the second half of The Expanse. It's one of those shows whereby I was really excited. It got me all revved up. Loved it. The characters were awesome. The acting was great. The storyline was pretty fun and interesting and unique. This WandaVision show was the first 3. I'll even give the first 3 or 4 episodes was very interesting, and it had a lot of questions that I had to ask as a consumer of this kind of entertainment. I love it, and I was like, well, okay, it's interesting so far. It's kind of how I'm feeling for what's going on with Superman and Lois too. The first couple episodes are great. And I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I knew that when we started going into episode 5 and episode 6, and you're looking at, well, there's only going to be 30-minute episodes left, and they have a whole bunch of storyline to do. They're not going to do the fun stuff that we predicted. I mean, we've been sitting here on these live streams for the last couple of months now and coming up with some really, really cool ideas. Nightmare, Mephisto, the Darkhold, Kafan, what darkness has wrapped itself around her heart to make her do such dark and evil things. Oh, it was just because she was sad because she lost a robot. Like, really?
Well,
yeah. I mean, like Henry says, torturing the kids, not letting them out of their room for a year. Can you, oh God, where'd she go to the restroom?
Yeah. It's just sad. It's just sad. It's just sad to me. It's just disheartening. It's just terrible.
If I may bring in just a little bit of reality, how connected, I mean, we're connecting all these stories because, well, geeks and nerds and fans, we really wanted there to be something in this material that was being crafted for us off of all of these bases. We talked about all the comics, but we know right now what is going on with the company that created it.
Yeah.
Know who they are. They've shown their hand.
All right, guys. Hey, the Redshirt has apparently got some guests coming over for dinner. Because what's cool about being here in Central Texas, like the two of us are, is that we're at least marginally free compared to some folks around the world. And but the man has got some guests coming over for dinner. So let's any final thoughts, anything that you want to plug before you go, sir?
I don't have anything to plug, but I really appreciate you having me on the stream. I've had a blast, and I wish I were going to be able to hang around and talk about Disney's brand new Rock, which sounds fascinating. Man. But I've got company here, and actually, I just got a notice that my wireless keyboard's battery is critical, so I'm about to reach the point where I'm going to be signing off with a mouse, I hope. It's just I this, JT. I got into WandaVision, got sucked into the story because I thought this really sounds different. This is not like any superhero movie I've seen or heard of, and to have as vast a disappointment in its final couple of episodes is just you've done it again. Congratulations. Now, having seen Batman Forever or whatever it was with Jim Carrey as the Riddler, which drove me away from superhero movies, now WandaVision has convinced me I made the right decision and I'm not watching any more of them. That's it. I'm out of here. That's done.
Yeah.
All right.
Take care. Just another beat shirt.
For the folks,
Chief of the Red Shirts.
For the folks in the chat and on the panel, on Tuesday evening, Redshirt and I are going to be reviewing a book titled Columbus Day by Craig Allenson, which is the first book of a 15-book series of novels called the Expeditionary Force series about this average Joe who gets involved in an interstellar war after the hamsters invade Earth, and then we go off in service to the lizard people. If you guys want to hear about a fun series of novels,
yes,
tune in. It's going to be at 9 p.m. Central Time, Tuesday evening. Redshirt and I are going to be going through this.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it. High-tech hamsters.
All right.
There you go.
So long, folks.
No truth to the rumor that Jean Grey is a part of the company that came over. No truth to the rumor. We don't know that. If so enjoy. Hopefully you're in the first few.
Oh, yeah. And so, Nick Weiser saying, had this not been marketed as a lead in Doctor Strange sequel, it would have spared us of all the connecting and theorizing. Except the thing is, like, Thoth is touched on somehow this is indeed going to connect to that because Wanda's now the owner of the Darkhold. Okay.
Well, I mean, this is also the same sort of marketing they did to get Captain Marvel pushed up. I mean, they did it before.
Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. And
Yeah.
that wasn't the only thing that led to theorizing. There was tons of Easter eggs. And we're going to get into this whole rock situation.
We're going to get into the rock.
And I think that to be rage bait, but like in the same way that they'll rage bait us, don't think they didn't put some of these Easter eggs, including Ralph, who they know to be Mephisto, because there are people who work at Marvel or that was a pseudonym or whatever of Mephisto. Like they definitely intentionally led us down the straight, and they even marketed it with the stuff they said. They said, there's going to be a big reveal. So it wasn't just there were a lot of factors into that theorizing. I think they definitely fed into it quite a bit.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, Flava Flav says he's not going to forgive the bait and switch with Quicksilver. And dude, example. Amen, Nick. Amen, dude. That was so to bring him in and the possibilities that had opened, and then to turn it in the end to a dick joke. I mean, to make Evan Peters' role in this show literally a dick joke, it enraged me.
Well, it's not just a dick joke, right? So he's wearing a pearl necklace too.
Yeah. Yes, he was wearing a pearl necklace.
Wow. See, this is that scene. See, I didn't see it. This is, man, for fuck's sake, you did all of this to just troll men.
Disney is still Disney.
Women. We have to boycott this company, not just because they're woke, not just because they fired Gina, but because they make terrible shit all the time. Everything is not good. We're getting nothing out of this. As a Lions fan, we need to stop being Lions fans. We need to stop rooting for a team that will never win, that will never give us a title, that will never give us anything. Yes, you had your Barry Sanders years, your Calvin Johnson years that you can look back on with pride, but there's nothing to be seen. You had your MCU.
That's 4 years total?
Yeah. and to Henry Sherman's point, it was fucking intentional.
Absolutely.
This shit was intentional. All these red herrings and these false leads and what have you. It was completely intentional specifically to get people like us spun up and going, to get Thoth going off on a 10-minute trip through the lore associated with Agatha and the Darkhold and the elder beings associated with it. Because guys like Thoth, man, like he could go on for an hour about this shit, right? And he wouldn't have to look up anything because this is just all in his head. And this shit was specifically a troll to guys like that.
Yeah, it was. My ego got 3 sizes bigger there all of a sudden, but I appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely.
Just your ego.
The links to the Fantastic Four.
I hope just the ego.
What you could have gone. What you could have done with the Fantastic Four and had the links to Agatha Harkness, like she could have remembered back meeting. Maybe you could do a link to the Fantastic Four movie where she was like, "Oh yes, and that little snot-nosed kid that I was raising who could change the universe, that Richards kid," or she could have made something to where she could have dropped something to the Fantastic Four, and she could have that whole background with Doctor Strange and like we've said before with Flava Flavs and Nightmare, and you had Chthon. The Darkhold is this. It's like the Necronomicon for the Marvel Universe. Yeah. It has and don't forget. So the Darkhold also is dealing with vampires. So you have the whole universe of Blade that's involved in that too. That's linked to the Darkhold. Yeah, you could bring some of that into it. You've got. It's just so many things that you could drop here, and it's just so disappointing to get a show whereby add 1 or 2 more episodes, and look what you could have added in there. You could have had Agatha as being just an apprentice or an emissary of some really, really dark, evil powerhouses of the Marvel universes.
Who are they called? The Defenders of the Dark with Ghost Rider and yes. I can't remember their proper name. Was it just it wasn't just the Defenders. That was Daredevil and the Dark Crew.
It's Sons is in the target. Sons of Midnight or no? Wait, Midnight Suns? No, that was the comic series that was out for a while. That they were all in it. You're talking about the group with Blade.
Yes, all of the heroes like Blade and Ghost Rider and a bunch of the mystic elements of the Marvel universe, and the people who did things, not necessarily the light path, if you will.
Night Stalkers.
There you go.
The Night Stalkers. Well, you have the Spirits of Vengeance. So you have the Spirit of Vengeance, which is the Ghost Rider, right? So Johnny Blaze. You have Danny Ketch too. You have Morbius, the Living Vampire. You have Drake and Hannibal King. You've got the Redeemers. You have Montessa, the Montessa formula.
A whole bunch of them.
So the Montessa formula.
I don't even know all of them. I don't even know all of them. It's like you and Gary are my best.
Yeah, Flava Flaves is saying it's the Midnight Suns, Thoth.
The Midnight Suns. Okay, so that's what I said earlier, I think. Yeah. So yeah, because you have Werewolf by Night, you've got the Ghost Riders, you've got Hellstrom, the Son of Satan, you've got Jennifer Kale. I'm missing. Well, Doctor Strange is in there too, and you have the links to the Montessa formula, which is the formula that created vampires, and with the Darkhold. So you've got a whole bunch of things there. You could bring in Dracula. You could bring in the Midnight Suns. You could bring in like, oh my God, there's so many great links you could do there, not just to the Doctor Strange movie, but to the dark part of the Marvel universe, which is really, really cool. If you're going to bring Ghost Rider
horror movies,
well, if you're going to bring in Mephisto, there's Ghost Rider too. There's some really, really, really cool stuff in the Marvel universe that you could link to, and the Defenders are kind of a part of it too. But you really need to introduce a Fantastic Four too to be able to get like the Silver Surfer involved in the Defenders too. You could get the classic Defenders and the Son of Satan and Valkyrie, Hellcat. I mean, there's some great characters there that you could link to that you're missing out on by doing what you just did.
Currently, Hellcat is lecturing in the comics. Isn't she lecturing Tony Stark about being a white male and being privileged?
Probably.
And speaking of which, that PG-13 Blade with identity politics makes me sick. I was actually watching clips of Blade from one of my videos I just did on Superman because I was talking about black superheroes and why you don't need them to be tokenized. But Blade is such an awesome movie. Like if you haven't seen that in a while, check it out because some of the dialogue is cheesy and some of the effects don't hold up. But the action and violence definitely holds up.
That was technically my first Marvel movie, and I didn't even know it.
People's first Marvel movie. It was a generation's first Marvel movie.
And I don't think they understand that. People I'm pretty nerdy. I watch a Nerdrotic stream. I know Star Trek really well, especially the 90s to 2005. But I grew up on DC, specifically the animated series. And I loved the WB because it seemed way more fun, and Disney just had this, sort of disgusting feel of like you make princess movies, but you secretly spell out like shit in your movie. Like I don't know. Disney always felt corrupt. WB always felt funny. And I don't know that it's true. They could both be just as evil as whatnot. But
this is the same Disney that added an erection into the Little Mermaid.
It's that Disney. But when Marvel did Iron Man, and then they did this series of cinematic universe, they brought someone who would just not look at Marvel. I was not a Marvel person. When I went back to buy comics, I bought DC. But I was watching these movies because I was thinking they did a good job. And I was like, okay, I remember the animated series for Marvel when I was growing up. I remember it. I remember I wouldn't watch it, but I remember it.
Dude, Godzillionaire's on the money here, man. Yeah. PG-13 Blade is just butter knife. That's not fucking Blade.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. I like that. That's not
Blade has to be rated R.
Yeah. There are some heroes that
I'm so angry. I keep saying, listen, if you want to be SGWs, just be good. Like you can still, if you want to make, you can make all the vampires police. I don't care. As long as he cuts up a bunch of shit and it's cool and violent and bloody, fine. I'll meet you halfway. You don't have to.
All that stuff is patriarchal. You're talking about all this patriarchal, this white. You and your internalized misogyny and whiteness. Just go away. We have these things now.
Hey, we were having fun a moment ago. Before
I heard Ryan Reynolds is pretty upset too.
There will never be as cool a scene in any movie as Blade in that nightclub with all the vampires, where they starts raining blood.
The very beginning of the movie. The very beginning of it.
That was beyond punk rock. That was beyond punk rock. And I hear Ryan Reynolds is pretty upset about Deadpool 3 too, and about because they don't want to do an R-rated Deadpool. Deadpool has to be R.
He has to be. I thought that was going to be the only R-rated movie they have.
That's what they
That's how we found out
a month ago.
I could give 0 fucks if it's not rated R.
I've heard rumors that they're cutting out a bunch of stuff and it's not going to be R. They're going to try to make it PG.
Sucks to suck.
Oh,
dude. It is not Deadpool if it's not rated R.
Just
period.
like Blade, like I can't see any of these movies being done without a rated R. Like Blade, like he's a vampire. Everything's blood, unless you're saying that the amount of blood and cursing that in modern day you can still get a PG-13 rating on it. Then no. Like unless you can not hold anything back, and just because it's modern day and all of our standards and morality is shit, you can get a PG-13 rating. Then no. Okay, go ahead. I'm just rambling.
No. I was just reading what Arlington Girl said. So vampire should be rated R for 2 reasons. 1, Dracula is violent, and we should see all of this violence. Also, because Dracula is a vampire and vampires aren't real. Great. Number 2, the women vampires are sexy. This is part of the story, and I want it. I want to be afraid of how sexy they are, because that is what the story is all about, and it would be great.
Eating you down.
Looks cute, even in those glasses.
It's the haircut. It's the haircut, man. It's the haircut. You know what, though? The funny thing is, let's make a vampire movie PG-13, because all these vampires, they're just going to be doing misdemeanors.
But didn't we already do that with Twilight?
It's not. There's not going to be any felonies involved here.
Right.
So fighting necks and ripping throats out.
And that's why this guy is Batman now. The guy who won't work out, but will have sex on the Batmobile, which is like 50-50? I don't get it, man.
I'm hoping that's in the movie.
I mean,
there's a rumor that there's footage.
He's like, don't stop rolling. Don't
stop rolling. Well, we just got our R.
There are rumors that there are crew members with footage on their
cameras.
phones.
I heard. Yeah.
Oh, have you been to the hub to check out looking for this footage, V-Dub?
I could not find it.
Oh, that was a yes.
He did say I could not find it. That does not mean he didn't go.
Speaking of people exposing themselves, the Islington girl says she wants to lease the car sex. So I mean,
well,
Islington girl at Vigilante Will 34 on Twitter.
Batman full frontal. That's what she's looking for.
That way.
They technically did that in the comics. It wasn't so great.
Yeah.
If you watch Batman Forever, they do a close up on his junk and his butt and the bat nips. So there you go.
We know he hasn't been using the bat condoms, the bat Trojans, because
he's not.
I think he got her knocked up, didn't he?
Indeed. While she was married to another man, no less.
Ding ding.
Sounds like the Maury show in real
Wait,
life.
was this Batman or Bruce Wayne?
This was Robert Pattinson, but this is also the story of
Pat.
Talia al Ghul getting knocked up, so it works.
I don't even want to know the details of Pat.
No.
I want to know it was on the car, but I don't want to know more than that.
No, leave the mask on. Leave the mask on.
Leave the mask on.
Geek Tropology wants to know
Whether
what
or
he
not
is.
it's true. Whether or not it's true, it will be on the Batmobile.
You missed a lot, Pablo. It's been a couple hours already, and we've been having some fun, brother.
Well, I guess they weren't using too much bat wax on the vehicle there if she was staying on the hood.
Yeah, on the plus side, Pablo can at least respect Pattinson as a man now. And of course, Batman, you are the father. V-Dub's got a great clip for that.
Oh yeah, I got the
technically the countdown clock is on. Well, how many months ago is that? It's 2 months ago, 3 months ago. When he,
this rumor is a few months old.
Like
Yeah,
early
like 3 months.
November. Yeah, early November.
6 months, dude. 6 months. We'll find out.
Well, we may not, depending on what she did. So, just because you're pregnant doesn't mean you're gonna.
Oh yeah,
Never
no.
mind.
I'm just saying it. We're in the countdown right now.
We are. Yeah.
How empowering would it be to have a storyline in the movie about her getting an abortion?
Godzilla. Oh,
Like, we gotta make this as horrible as possible.
Come on. Look at the pictures. Look at what you've seen of the Bat Pat, and tell me that wouldn't be a possibility in current day.
Man,
yeah,
we've been going down some doors on this episode of Howling About Entertainment.
Holy cow! Yeah, I think we're all drinking. This is almost a Foul Ball Productions.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
it
I
is
do see a lot of
ordering on the cocktail lounge. Oh yes, and no, zero problem with Batman when Catwoman. That's not...
Listen, if Robert Pattinson would have worked out, and listen, we haven't seen the movie. We have not seen the movie as. I started off positive when I saw the trailer. I've dipped into negativity with all the reports, but every report isn't true always. So I'm hoping, all jokes aside, that we actually get a quality film. But I have no guarantee that we will.
No, I mean, you can't judge a movie till it's out, and this is all just fun. And I'm honestly like really happy that we're having this kind of fun because, we should be talking about actors who do it on the set. That's funny. Batman doing it on the Batmobile is fucking awesome.
And man, shout out to if that's true, shout out to Robert Pattinson. Life is about experience. Not all of us will ever be able to experience being cast as Batman and being able to bone Catwoman on the top of a Batmobile. You have to do it if you have the opportunity.
What are you going to do with the time you are given?
It's worth the 18 years of child support to say you did it.
Dude, I didn't even know that should be on my bucket list until I heard about it. I
mean, that is Ace level punk rock, right, Ace?
Yo, I can't say it's the kind of thing you aspire to because I never aspired to be Batman. But there is that trend that says, like be whatever whoever you are, whatever you're going to be. Unless you can be Batman, then be Batman. And that's sort of true.
And I'm a little mad that I now have to say, I wish I was Robert Pattinson.
But dude, he's already played that exact character. That is Cedric Diggory in Harry Potter. He is that guy who's just taller, more handsome, better liked, and probably better at Quidditch than Harry. I don't know. That last one's controversial to the Harry Potter potheads. Potterheads. Yeah. So,
I wanted to live long enough to have Harry Potter compared to Batman. That is just
what is happening? We're comparing Harry Potter to Batman.
Radcliffe would be a great Robin.
Didn't the Ghostbusters warn us not to cross the streams?
Yes.
Yeah. The girl wishes that she was the Batmobile. Yes.
I wish I was again at Vigilante Will 34 on Twitter.
Hey, I could handle Catwoman between me and Pattinson. I could be the Batmobile
too. Are you trying to get a third divorce achievement today?
Oh my God, that's got to be a record.
Already done it. You haven't played it yet.
I just think that I think that this is a masterful media blitz to bring something like this out to the media because they know that social media is just going to run with this. It's one of those things that's kind of sensationalizing what's going on behind the scenes. You know what? I've always been one of those people who said I want to have proof before I believe it. I would like to believe it because that is epic level, masterful punk rock. But I'm wondering if this is kind of leaked just to try to get some positive, and I put air quotes around the positive press, because supposedly in the old days, every bit of press, whether it's bad press or not, is still good press. But
no press is bad press. The old saying, yes.
It's trying to keep the eyes on a troubled production. That's probably what it is.
That's Pattinson bent over, if you were wondering.
I no longer have to magically look like bent over the Batmobile.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
It's one or the other. It's all good. This is awesome either way.
The Islington girl urges us to go back to the Batcave and have Alfred punish us. So
I'm not into that sort of stuff.
That's some more 50 Shades right there.
Alfred, you have to tell me. I've been very bad.
Pull the trigger. A lot of cases.
Where's the trigger?
Trigger.
She said. Pattinson gives her the excitement of a soggy noodle. I've
a lot of kinks revealed, definitely.
Like
to be fair, you
was.
never just have one soggy noodle. You have lots of soggy noodles together.
True.
To Lord Thoth's point about this,
I'm talking about Asian style noodles, Jake.
Asian style?
Yeah.
You racist.
No. It's all right.
Getting us canceled.
We can talk about Asian things anymore now. They don't qualify as the BIPOC now.
Oh yeah, they consider
As what?
Asian white. Asians are not
right,
white
because of Boston. Yeah.
No.
I just wish we wouldn't think in these terms. It's just so
we
backward.
don't, but a few idiots in academia and the media do, and therefore they're pushing their thoughts.
I know, dude. When I was in grad
about
school,
these things,
people
we
would
have to
ask
discuss it.
some really ridiculous questions, and I'd be sitting there and like I'd be quiet, and I'm like, "Well, okay, I gotta say something," and I'm when I need to be, I'm political, and so I'm polite, and it just takes a really long time to get your message through, if it ever gets through, and I really don't know that it does in this atmosphere.
Dude, this is Pablo. This is a great headline, man. This is a nice stinger for your news show. The bat got the cat and gave her more than rabies. Details at 8.
I want to piggyback off of Lord Thoth's point, where he said that this was definitely leaked by the media or leaked to the media to create kind of a wag the dog situation where they can kind of shift the focus off of a lot of issues we've heard about the set. Heard about Robert Pattinson fighting with the director, him maybe not wanting to work out, all these different issues. Well, here's something fun that people will it'll kind of be endearing, and they could just deny the rumor. You know what I mean? Who knows if it's true? But it's just something fun. When you start having more and more major press outlets covering something, you do have to wonder why they are. You know what I mean? So that's a fair point to bring up, though.
Dude, just like Alex says, right? He's piggybacking on this too. He says, Batman banging Catwoman on a Batmobile. There's no need for proof because it's the stuff that dreams are made of.
Yeah. As you said, it comes to category. I want to believe. You want to believe it. So it becomes like a part of the mythos of this movie. And I think
which is why I'm saying it's kind of positive press. It is kind of positive press.
It is. It's a really good point.
Yeah. It's, I mean,
the thing is, you couldn't script it, though. Could you?
Well, you could.
Well, I couldn't, but Axel Braun
could. Right. We're on the same page.
The way I understand it is that she's of the age where he is just the hot movie star. Yeah. So she's going to want him because he's been in Harry Potter. He's been in Twilight. I don't know what else.
That's about it.
That's as far as we know.
The Lighthouse. Nobody has seen that movie.
See, I knew there had to be.
The Lighthouse, and people can't. I haven't seen the Lighthouse. I haven't seen Tenet. I have no idea.
You know what? I'm not going to watch Tenet because that seems dumb. But I'll give the Lighthouse a watch because I've heard people say it's good, and I just can't tell if they're just fans of the men in the movie or if it's good.
Tenet was all right. I didn't mind Tenet.
I just don't think
it's good in it.
It was okay.
Yeah, he was all right. He was all right, man. They wanted to ride the wave of Pattinson riding the Catwoman on his ride. Yeah,
but I mean, it's a Nolan movie. Anybody can kind of look cool. Like, how many times do you see a very bad acting performance in a Nolan movie?
Have we seen any good acting performances in a Nolan movie?
Ooh, what?
Everything's kind of pretty mediocre. Like it's.
But you're right.
I wouldn't say mediocre. That's not really fair. But
everything's kept into. Yeah, outside of Heath Ledger, I can't think of an extraordinary acting performance. So yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, true point. Good point. Yeah.
So all right, guys, we're getting close to when we're going to need to wrap up. We probably got about 20 minutes left, give or take, because I've got it on good authority that the Inquisition, a guy named Schmery from the Birdrotic channel told me that the Inquisition starts at 8:15 tonight Central.
Oh.
So we got about 20 to 30 minutes left, man. And we cannot end this stream without discussing this very, very important development that has just recently occurred in the Star Wars universe.
That's a rocky end to your stream there, Jake.
See, like Ace has got the action figure right there.
Yeah, I don't think we're stoned enough for this.
Oh, dude. So RIP Star Wars, absolutely 2012 because that's the day that Disney bought them, and damn, dude. I mean, so this ship. Does anybody know the name of this ship?
Yep.
Vessel.
Yeah. It's the nuclear vessel.
Vessel. And you know this place what they are? It's called Dock. And that stuff that they fly around in, that's called space.
That's right, Sentient Dildo.
Mary G wants to know what the fuck is this. This is the two new characters from Star Wars: The High Republic, Mary. That tombstone is literally a character in the book. For real. No bullshit. We're not yanking your chain.
Not only a character, it is the ship's navigator.
At least I don't have to fucking buy a Funko Pop. I got my own ship. Just go outside. This is a really dumb thing to do if you actually want to sell your product.
I'm triggered because she doesn't have one half of her head shaved.
Yeah, she actually looks like they tried to draw a woman for one.
Yeah.
I actually went looking. I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, I don't know what you're talking about. She got hair.
Yeah, it's the Rock's named Geode in a vessel called Vessel. Yes, exactly, Alex.
This is Rage Bay. I'm not sure if it was mentioned because my dog was barking like the CIA was coming to get me, so I had to run away for a little bit to make sure it was.
They are coming to get you, V-Dub.
They probably are. But yeah, this is pure Rage Bait. There's no other goal for this but to get us to talk about it and say what the hell is going on.
Yeah,
because
I think a lot of their marketing has been like that lately. A lot of their marketing,
absolutely.
I think it's tailored towards us. I think there's people behind the scenes that have to be howling and laughing their butts off at this stuff.
I think they were literally looking around the office and trying to find literally anything but a male character, like Sherman was just saying there.
Yeah, they had to do anything they could not to put a male character in there, and yeah, man, I just there's no male gaze if there's no eyes. Yeah,
I thought the pilot was a male character. Wasn't there a pilot that's a male character?
Yes, but his name is Leox Gacy.
Oh wow, there it goes.
Leox Gacy.
We already have one male character on the ship. We can't have two. Yes. No, that's ridiculous.
Man, Star Wars is getting real strange.
Boycott Disney as to the greatest extent that you possibly can.
So V-Dub, that's a good point that you mentioned before, and I wanted to hit on. I come from a community that has canceled their New York Times subscriptions because the New York Times lies, but they do this like every few years. And I'm pretty sure at this point, none of them have a New York Times subscription because I know how the community has gone. But it took like 25, 30 years of canceling and resubscribing, canceling. Like, and this is going to sound like the streaming wars. And this is what they did within and it took 30 years. And, you know, whether or not I approve of what my neighbors say is, you know, it's not the point. The point is that I don't want people to buy in and buy out and buy in and cancel and buy in and cancel their subscriptions. Like, when you realize Disney sucks, quit, get out of it, because you're not like, it only gets worse. And every time you think it's going to get better, it's just going to get worse. It's another opportunity for these fuckers to fuck with you. So I don't want to see that.
I've got some wise words I want to share before I want to head out here.
I agree, VW. Yeah.
By God, share them, my brother.
You gotta share the video.
Oh, is there a?
Yeah, it's like
there it is. Yes. Okay.
From a certain a certain wise man of.
It's okay to hate them back.
Yeah.
Yes, Razor Fist. Oh man.
But I agree with what Ace is saying that your communities. I'll stop. Volume.
No, keep going.
No, we got you. We can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, no, I agree. It's funny how we've been kind of growing up in this community too. That a lot of people are starting to see what's going on, and I think that what we need to do is just stop. Because my wife said it the other night. We were watching that movie with Eddie Murphy in it, and she went on a rant, and I'm like, I've never seen that before about how that movie was awful and how she was so disappointed.
Coming to America?
Yep, Coming to America too. Yep. And because we both really enjoyed the first one, and she loved the first one, which is it's
a classic.
It's a classic, and
it is a classic.
And not because of the color of most of the actors in it either, just because it was funny as hell, and we loved it. And so we were sitting there, and so we watched the second one, and she was more excited than I was because I knew what I was getting in for. But it's like that for a lot of things right now, and she's because I was watching WandaVision, and I was getting pretty upset in that last episode, and she was saying, I see your blood pressure's up again, and I'm like, well, yeah. I said, I can have a criminal coming at me with a knife, and my blood pressure would be regular, but watching something like Star Trek Discovery or WandaVision or The Expanse, the last few episodes, my blood pressure goes through the roof, and I'm ready to have a heart attack. But I think that what's going on is a lot of this stuff just isn't for me anymore. And I think that I'm going to stop watching a lot of it. There's some of it I will continue to watch, but unless somebody tells me that this is going to change, or unless the world is going to change and pop culture and entertainment is going to change, I'm out, because I love my comics, I love my TV shows, I love all that stuff, but it's just not for me. And I think in our community right now, we're all kind of feeling that same way. And yeah, maybe we just need to cancel our New York Times.
Sentient dildo, man.
You know what's funny? Sentient dildo's cracking jokes, but there is a narrative where every single black character they create has some stereotype to him. The Tim Drake character that they blackwash. Of course, he's like a drug dealer. We talk about Batwoman, who's a drug dealer in a van down by the river. And SP and Dusk, I completely agree. Coming to America had no business being made. I never saw it. I haven't seen it. The second one, but the first one is such a classic. You don't need every movie doesn't need to be a franchise. Just go one and done. That's fine.
Yeah.
Some of the best movies ever made were never ever intended to be franchises.
Yeah, and that's okay. Like
I can say today that there is a certain movie that should have never been a franchise that was released in 1986 on today's date in the United States, and that's Highlander, one of my all-time favorite
Highlander.
Movies. And so a shout out to Highlander, because since we've been talking a lot about Mortal Kombat lately, and the one good video game adaptation movie that ever came out, which was the original Mortal Kombat with Christopher Lambert. So today's the anniversary of a movie that should have never been a franchise.
Oh, dude. Now, I'm going to disagree with that slightly, Thoth, and here's why.
Because Highlander 2 was great?
No, because the Adrian Paul Highlander TV show was really good.
Yeah.
In fact, I've been rewatching it. I'm just about done with the first season, and it is as good as I remember. I enjoy the Highlander TV show. And why was it good? Because Adrian Paul was fucking good. Okay.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Let's take a lesson here. They got a good looking dude. All right. Guy was cut. He had an accent.
And he could handle his sword.
What woman would not love that?
And Princess Bride was brought up as far as a one and done movie. Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. 87, I believe. 88, 87.
Dude, Mary G agrees.
E.T.
All right,
E.T. would be another one.
What is up with this?
Consider E.T. a part of Star Wars franchise.
Princess Bride.
What's that?
What is up with the fascination with the Princess Bride? This is like one of these things where I'm like, I must be on the spectrum because I don't understand why society is all about this movie.
Have you seen this movie, Ace?
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. oh fuck. It's Howard Stark. Like, are you fucking seen the movie?
Yes,
now?
yes. Oh fuck,
go, bro.
yes.
It's like, I
Way to
don't
go, bro.
understand why people. There are a few movies like this, and I just like, was it like The Wedding Singer or something? Like
How
they're
do
just
you
a
feel
bunch.
about The Princess Bride? Is how I feel about the Goonies. I said it.
Okay, I accept that because when I first saw the Goonies, I was a little bit afraid and weirded out, and then I saw it the next year again. I was like, "Ooh, Goonies! I like this." It's like it just matters how it hits you. And the
So
Princess
I
Bride,
get what you. I
no.
like The Princess Bride though. I do like that. But you know what though? With The
Why
Princess
do you-
Bride, it took me a few watches.
I've rewatched it. Yeah.
It took me a few watches. The first watch, and I saw it a bunch as a kid, and then as an adult, when it kind of became a thing, I'm like, what is? I kind of was like that, but then I saw him. Oh, I get it.
When I was a kid, I could recite every line of that movie. In fact, even today in my 40s, I can still recite every line of that fucking movie. Because it's one of the greatest movies ever made.
Okay. I can recite every line to Ace Ventura. Oh, hey, man. What's up?
I need to go ahead and hop out. I got to be up.
All right,
I'm a little
Ironcaster.
later than I needed to, but
Hey,
it's
thank
been a
you
lot
for
of fun.
stopping in today, man. Anything you want to plug? Final thoughts before you roll.
Rewatch Mortal Kombat. I got nothing.
I liked it.
I'm gonna go to bed and watch Mortal Kombat.
Oh, it's great having you here, man.
All right.
Good to see you.
I love it.
Take care, Ironcaster.
All right, appreciate
He's
it.
Ironcaster.
Dang, he pieced out so fast I couldn't even say bye.
Sub to Ironcaster's channel on YouTube. I think he's still working on.
I will say that The Princess Bride is funny, and it's got some good classic jokes, and the actors are all good. I don't understand why this movie becomes the cultural cornerstone.
The internet did it because it was not the cultural cornerstone. It was some point in the mid to late 2000s where I was aware of the movie, and all of a sudden it became like a thing. And
I saw it
would
growing
blame
up, and I thought it was great as a kid, and then I
Yeah.
was like, but like I saw all the like Dracula Dead and loving it. Same scale for me.
Okay.
Now, I like Dracula Dead and loving it, but there's Dracula Dead and loving it, and then there's The Princess Bride.
And I just gotta get. I just gotta understand that. I don't get it.
Man,
I don't.
I like the. You know what? I like The Princess Bride in a weird way. Like, Isn't the Girl says there's no Ghostbusters, and I agree, it's not. But I wouldn't even compare it to Ghostbusters. Like, the only other movie I can think that I like in that same way, or another movie I can think of is Napoleon Dynamite, where I just love this movie. It's very, very entertaining.
I don't get that. No,
Uncle Rico, man. How can you not love Uncle Rico?
You know what? The first time I saw Napoleon Dynamite, I thought this was the stupidest thing I'd ever seen. And then the second or third time, I thought it was the most funny thing I had ever
Tell
seen.
me I
in
have to
my
watch
life.
it again. Oh shit!
I was in tears. I was in absolute tears like the second or third time, and I couldn't stop. I was like crying in tears. It's
Okay.
that funny. But I get it's like you have to get the humor.
So I get the Princess Bride humor. I like it. I maybe it's just because I grew up on it and it was, it was good, but it was never a cultural icon to me.
You know what? It's filled with It was filled with memes before memes. That's what it is.
Yeah,
they're like proto memes, and then as memes brought into existence, that increased the expansion of that movie being beloved.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, Mary G got censored by the Google bots.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's funny. I got censored the other night too on Gary's stream, and I was and as a moderator too, and I was like, I said absolutely nothing bad. It was just like one line, like, "Hey, good to see you," blah blah blah, and it was like, bloop. I was like, why did Google censor me? Like, I didn't say anything bad. It was just random.
You got yeeted for saying hello?
Yeah.
I know why. It's because we're all associated with Vigilante Williamson, who is secretly an NSA agent.
I think so.
I hope if I was an NSA agent, I would touch a lot more women than I do currently. So
Robin
the
Hood
NSA does not exist. The NSA does not exist. My beer mug I have from the NSA, it does not exist.
Now, Thoth, it's the only part of the government that's actually listening to you.
Val Kilmer's arguably hotter in Willow.
That's
Willow
funny
was
on
a
a
funny
couple of
movie,
levels, Jake D.
but I understand why people don't like it. Yeah.
I like
you guys
The
Willow.
Lost Boys.
I liked it too.
Lost Boys
but-
was mentioned. That soundtrack is amazing. I
Great
love the soundtrack
soundtrack.
to the Lost Boys.
Lost Boys was good. But fuck, what was the one that was mentioned before?
Yes. Okay, Alex, dude, this is so funny because one of the things I asked my now girlfriend when we were first chatting, getting ready to go on our first date was I did ask her about her favorite movies, and The Princess Bride was the first one she said, and I knew it was going to be okay.
Congratulations.
Alexander, we don't know each other well enough, but I ain't probably ever going to get married.
Hey, that's probably a good idea nowadays.
That's
I
fair.
would say that's probably a
All
good idea.
right. Well, guys, I think we need to get her about wrapped up now, man. But let's go around the horn. Final thoughts. I want to hear what you think about Disney's new Star Wars Navigator, The Rock, the MCU, and, whatever else. And if you got anything to plug. Draco, sir, how are you?
I am waiting for Darth Scissor and Jedi tissue one paper. Well, we have to have the ultimate battle of the three, since we have Geode or Geodude or Geode or something to try to make him more fit. Yeah, it's just bullshit. It's trolling. It's crap. It's whatever.
Oh, all right.
Plug. Sub to my channel. I don't make shit, or at least I don't make shit now. I might make shit in the future. Draco Argentus on YouTube. I hang out with these wonderful people who you really need to sub with. People like Jig D, people like Lord Thoth or Lord Thoth. I think I feel like I need to correct that now because I've been spending too much time around people like Cardinal Sin who want to pronounce it properly. And Vigilante Williamson with another video. Yeah. These guys are making some good stuff. You can watch it all the time on YouTube and avoid stuff from like the Evil Empire.
All right. All right. Mr. Freeze Ace, final thoughts for the evening, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm disappointed that Star Wars can't win me back, or that Disney or that any of these brands owned by Disney don't understand that we are just normal people and we want to have good entertainment. But yeah, if you give me a fucking rock to watch, I will watch Charlie Brown, which is wonderful. Charles Shows was an amazing creator. I recommend going back to his start in 1950 and going all the way to 2000. It is a wonderful comic series. And for that, you should all subscribe to Jake D if you're not already subscribed, and Vigilante Williamson. And Draco Argentus, please put out videos. I would love to see what you've got, man. Because I'm here because you guys are hanging out, and Jake D is like, hey, here's a link. And I was like, all the people I want to talk to. Perfect. So this is just a treat, and I'm so happy to be here, and thank you.
All right. V-Dub.
I'm muted. Sorry about that. I almost boomered. But okay. I got to do this call. It's become a gimmick of mine. There are 19 of you watching. I have 303 subscribers. If all 19 of you subscribe, which I know is impossible because a lot of you are already subscribed, but if you did, I'd have 320 some odd subscribers. On my channel, I talk about a lot of stuff we talk about here, as far as pop culture and all the craziness that's going on with it. I just made a video last week about how nobody really cares about Superman. I am going to make a video coming up that may be critical of somebody that a lot of people like, somebody I like, but I still have to say it. And I also do streams. I stream at least Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, because Wednesday I do a show with Matt, 5 Ball Productions. This week it'll be on my channel, but it alternates between my channel and his channel, so it's up to both of us for that show. It's called The Culture Crime Fighters. I do the Vigilante Wiz show on Thursday, and sometimes when I have time, pop up on Monday and Tuesday, but usually Thursday for sure. And then, of course, Vigilante Winston, The Brave and the Bold, where I have guests like the wonderful Jake D and Lord Thoth and everyone else and Ironcaster and everyone else who shows up. Draco, I think has Draco showed up on? I know we've done the MFR. I'm not sure if he's shown up on The Brave and the Bold.
One time, only one time, okay. Because Saturday is a thick night. Yeah, it wasn't happening yesterday because I was machine bound.
Saturdays are for the boys.
So yeah, I mean, a lot of people here, a lot of people you see me, I also stream with on the Brave and the Bold. So yeah, and then I'll also stream like periodically, obviously on Jake D's channel. A lot of times on Culture Casino's channel, and a lot of times on Comics Division and Wes Moody's channel as well, and of course Fireball Productions. So I'm a guest on those channels as well. So yeah, I am a stream machine. I stream pretty much all the time. Seems like every day. I went for like a 3 or 4 week period where every day I was on at least one stream. So yeah,
dude, one of the hardest working men in YouTube.
Yeah. I try.
All right, you got anything specific coming up you want to pitch, V-Dub?
Just, I have a video that I'm working on that I'll hopefully get out tomorrow, and it's about something that a lot of people ran with that I'm critical of. I'll just keep it at that.
Fair enough, my friend. Fair enough. And the man from the Great White North, your Egyptian god in Canada, Lord Thoth. Final thoughts.
I like that introduction. That's actually pretty good. I want to say to all the fellow panelists tonight, it was an honor to be here with you. Shout out to the chat. They were amazing again. I love seeing some regular faces and some new faces as well. Also wanted to do a little quick shout out because I think I saw Clobber in Time in the chat too. Check out his channel because a lot of comic book, a lot of Star Trek stuff that's going on. They do a Saturday night stream with Raquel at 9 Central, I believe it is, on Saturday nights. Is unbelievable. Right now we're doing the old classic Star Trek episodes, so it's amazing. The chat's a lot of fun, and we get a chance to be nostalgic and remember the good times when we had some good Star Trek. But thank you to Draco and of course Ironcaster. It was great seeing you on too. Ace, it's always good seeing you in the members chat with Gary, and it's good to see you here. Great stuff tonight, man. That was awesome. Of course, Vigilante Williamson, like Jake D. said, the hardest working guy on YouTube. Love your stuff, man. It's great. It's awesome. Jake D., thanks very much for having me on. And I look forward to this every week. It's a lot of fun. Try to arrange dinner when I can. I'm Eastern time, so it's a little challenging, but I wouldn't miss this for the world, man. Thanks for having me on.
I appreciate it. All right. Well, thank you, everybody in the chat, for coming here. Please don't forget to smash that like button. Hey, if you found us for the first time today, we certainly hope we've earned your subscription. And we look forward to seeing you on the next stream or the next video. And that next stream coming up will be me and Just Another Redshirt on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Central Time. We'll be reviewing the first in a series of books. The novel series is known as Expeditionary Force. And the very first book by Craig Allenson is Columbus Day. And again, this is about an average Joe sergeant in the military who happens to turn into a hero when the hamsters invade Earth. And then he heads off planet to get a part of a 10,000-year-old interstellar war working for the lizard people. Yes, I'm serious. And it is a lot of fun. And I hope we'll see you all there. Good night and have a good evening.